and Division I AA's all-time great offensive performers. It's the Villanova Wildcats and the Richmond Spiders in the Atlantic 10 Game of the Week. Next. And on this final Saturday of September, displays of patriotism and unit very much in evidence here in Richmond, Virginia. Villanova coach Andy Talley and his counterpart Jim Reed in Richmond, and the respective players coming together in midfield moments ago as a tribute to the events of September 11th in this country. We are in Richmond, Virginia, where the Atlantic 10 Television Network presents Atlantic 10 Conference Football. The 14th-ranked Villanova Wildcats meet the 17th-ranked Richmond Spiders. Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Picozzi, along with former NFL quarterback Scott Bruner, and welcome to another season of Atlantic 10 football. And for Richmond, the month of September has been painful, literally. Not only have the Spiders lost a couple of heartbreakers by 7 points to 1A opponents, but they've also lost a couple of key players at key positions.
They sure did. The risk you run when you play up in big leagues is you lose players. And Richmond lost 2 key players, in Darcy Wills, a backup quarterback, and starting strong safety David Giles. It's going to be hard to replace them, but Richmond and Jim Reed look for leadership, and the guy that they look to is Sean Gustis. He's the quarterback who came in there last year from a wide receiver position to lead this team to the A-10 championship. Gustis brings that great savvy and hard-running ability. He was a leading rusher for the team last year. He's going to be carrying the ball a lot today.
Now, on the flip side, Villanova is healthier than ever, and for good reason. The Wildcats haven't played in 20 days since winning their first 2 games. They are led by one of the most heralded players in the 55-year history of this conference.
I'll tell you what, Brian Westbrook is the guy who impresses more people than anybody in this country. He's a running back, and when you think about running backs, you think about a guy with speed, with strength, with balance, and with vision. And Westbrook has all of those qualities. And what gives him the versatility to be a great performer is he catches the ball, he returns punts, and he runs the ball so well. But his biggest asset is he makes people miss. And you see on this punt return right here, making people miss all over the place, getting the ball down the field. And he has the ability to not only get it down the field, he gets it into the end zone. You see right there, 67 career touchdowns, working on breaking a record here today.
Already holds 37 Villanova records and can add some conference and national records today as well. It's the home opener for Richmond. It's also the conference opener. Back with the opening kickoff right after this. Glasses, looks like he's lost about 20 pounds.
He's looking good. He gets out there, he runs hard, he expects a lot of his team, and he expects a lot of himself as well. And he's just done such a fabulous job here with this Richmond Spider program, taking it to 2 A-10 conference championships in the last 3 years.
And he has been named the Conference Coach of the Year 5 times in his career, 3 times here at Richmond. And he is in his 7th year at the helm here at Richmond. And he also won the award twice during his 6-year stint at the University of Massachusetts. And his team, you can really forget about that 0-2 record, Scott. That was against 1A opponents, Virginia and Vanderbilt. It's a trite saying that you hear in sports all the time. They're the best 0-2 or whatever, but Richmond is without a doubt the best 0-2 1AA team in the country.
I'll tell you what, they are a great team, and they proved it well last year by winning the conference championship. But they do it with great defense and great special teams. And you see Brian Westbrook right there. He's going to be the first chore for this Richmond special team. teams to contend with. As one of the prolific kickoff return men in the country, and they're going to be kicking the ball down to him, and it'll be interesting to see exactly if they kick it for Westbrook or if they try to squib it along the ground and keep it away from him and keep it out of his hands.
Doug Kirchner, 5'9", 180-pound junior from Walbrook, New Jersey, does the honors kicking into the wind, and boy, does it show. The ball lands on the turf and goes out of bounds. Let's see what happened here. That, of course, is a free ball on a kickoff unless it goes into the end zone. But I believe there's no indication that Richmond recovered the ball. No one touched it, so it's out of bounds, and it's a penalty. And the ball will be brought out to the 35-yard line, and Villanova will start out with good field position behind this young man, Brett Gordon, 5'10" junior from Ambler, Pennsylvania. Gordon, second-team all-conference performer a year ago, preseason first-team choice this year. Did not play against Richmond last year because of an injury, and certainly that was a key in the outcome of that ball game, won by Richmond at Villanova by a score of 28-18.
Well, everybody talks about Westbrook, but Gordon is really the guy that kind of solidifies. He's the solidifying glue for this offense. He distributes the ball and gets things called and the team in the right formation. And it'll be important for Gordon to have a good day today.
Richmond won the toss, elected to defer, so Villanova gets the ball first. Right away it goes to Westbrook for a short pickup on the swing out to the right. Adrian Archie with the tackle. Besides Brian Westbrook and Brett Gordon, the rest of that offense in the backfield, Cameron Cross is the fullback, the tight end Matt Chilla, the wide receivers Shaz Brown and Merle Sango. And up front, a veteran offensive line. The tackle, Sean McCarthy and Eamon Allen. The guards, Jason Rogers and Adam Barandis. And the center is senior Robert Richardson. Gordon operating out of the shotgun on second down and 7 on a very breezy day here in Richmond. Rolls left, throws left. Sango with the catch. Short of the first down. Knocked out of bounds by cornerback Jason Hill for the Richmond Spiders. So that will bring up a 3rd and about 1 for the Wildcats. Defensively for Richmond, Jameel Butler. Actually, that's the Villanova defense, so we'll try to get that straightened out for you. And it will be 3rd down, and it looks like they're saying that Sango stepped out of bounds on the 41-yard line, so they need about 4. And obviously, Scott, the game plan for Andy Talley doesn't take a genius to figure this out. Get the ball into the hands of number 20 as often as they can.
Yeah, that's been the game plan for the last 3 years. And number 20, Brian Westbrook, is prolific, and they will get him the football, passing, running, and on special teams.
Empty backfield behind Gordon operating out of the shotgun. 4-man rush, and Westbrook with his first reception of the day for a first down to the Richmond 44-yard line before he was brought down by Chad Blackstock, a preseason second-team All-Atlantic 10 selection.
Well, it was just a simple little play. You think you really got to keep your eyes on Westbrook, and they just lost track of him there as he lined up in the slot to the left, went down and found the open seam, and then Gordon made a nice throw to get that initial first down.
So Villanova is in Richmond territory. The Wildcats off to a 2-0 start with wins over Colgate and Northeastern. Gordon to throw. Being chased from behind by Richardson on the safety blitz. Westbrook with the catch eludes the tackle by Ron Samuel and picks up about 5 yards, and it will be 2nd and 5. And that time, for the first time, we saw Jim Reed come with Richardson, number 18, on the blitz.
Well, you got to get pressure on Gordon if he's going to throw, and you got to really try to disrupt this Villanova offense, and that's what they do by bringing the blitz. And Jim Reed has been known to pressure people no matter what. He hasn't really put together any special game plan defensively here. He's just going to go out there and try to play straight up the Richmond Spider defense and try to contend with this Villanova offense that way.
He runs the defense himself. He is his team's defense coordinator. Cameron Cross straight up the middle. Looks like he will be just short of a first down, and it will be 3rd and about 1, and the ball will be spotted nose of the football just outside the Richmond 35-yard line. Villanova leads the Atlantic 10 in 3rd down conversions early in the season. The Wildcats have converted 11 of 25 for 44%. And Andy Talley told me this week, in order to win today, Brian Westbrook has to make the plays on 3rd down. High formation behind Gordon. And the handoff to Westbrook, who lost his footing and is knocked down for a loss of about 2 at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, you watch middle linebacker Mark Thompson. He's going to be a guy who's really keen on Westbrook all day, and you see him shoot right there in the gap. Nobody gets a hat on him, and Thompson comes in free and makes the tackle for a loss. Setting up another decision here for Andy Talley. What do you do on 4th and 4 on your going in? And I think what you have to think about here is Richmond's offense isn't going to scare many people. So Andy Talley's probably going to say, let's go for it here. Let's try to put some points on the board.
Okay, and kicking a field goal from this point of the field out of the question into the wind. And it looked like there was some movement, and if indeed it's on Richmond, that's going to be enough to give Villanova the first down. Richmond, of course, pointing Villanova away, and we'll see what referee Jack Winter and his crew come up with here. Instead, it will be a delay of game penalty. The 25-second clock ran out, so that changes things, and I'm sure Andy Talley will send his Chris Birch on the field to do the punting.
Yeah, you see Andy, he's a little upset there, but Gordon there trying to draw the Richmond defense off sides. He does a good job of it, but the play clock just ran out before he could get the snap off, and they're penalized while everybody's pointing at everybody else.
Chris Birch leads the Atlantic 10 in punting, standing at his own 44. Cordell Roan is back. Roan with the catch on the 10 and immediately brought down, and Richmond will take over. But first, we're going to take a timeout. 32-yard punt into the wind for Chris Birch, who's averaging 44.8. We will step aside. Timeout. 11:22 to go. First quarter. Scoreless. First time following a Villanova punt. Richmond deep in its own territory. 1st and 10 at its own 12-yard line, with senior quarterback Sean Gustus leading the way. Lots of motion behind Gustus, and even some more motion, and the ball goes to David Edwards. Takes it off right tackle for a pickup of about 2 on the play. Sean Gustus, 5'9", 205-pound senior out of DeMatha High School in Oxon Hill, Maryland. One of 5 DeMatha High School products on this Richmond team. There are also 2 on the Villanova side of the ball, including Brian Westbrook. So these guys know each other quite well.
They sure do. It's a great connection there. DeMatha has some great athletic talent, and they distribute them well through the A-10.
A couple of wide receivers to the left and one to the right here. Richmond rarely throws the football. And on the keeper up the middle, it's J.R. Purnell, a senior from Rockville, Maryland, for a short pickup. And it will be 3rd and 5, and this is the situation that Jim Reed would like to avoid. He, even when healthy, he likes the running attack.
He sure does. He wants to keep the ball moving on the ground. It's critical when you run the football to get good yardage on 1st down, and you saw a little bobble there on that 2nd down play, and that sets up those 3rd down and kind of medium to long, and it kind of takes your running attack out of the game a little bit when you're looking at 3rd and long situations.
Richmond 10th in the 11-team conference in 3rd down conversions. They've converted 29%, but they're going to convert one here. Cordell Roan on his first carry of the game takes it out to the 25-yard line for a 1st down. The rest of that Richmond offense, besides the quarterback Sean Gustus, J.R. Purnell the tailback, Scott Fulton the fullback, the tight end Mike Millard, the wide receivers are Boyd Uden and Dan McNair. And up front, the tackles are Justin McElfish and Joe Wilson, the guards Josh Burnett and Ken Farrar. The center is David Postilnik, preseason 2nd team All-Atlantic 10 selection. 1st and 10. 3 setbacks behind the quarterback, and there's some motion. Quay Solomon, the All-Atlantic 10 defensive tackle for Villanova, feels that he was drawn off sides, and he creates the contact after that. So we'll see if it's the false start on Richmond. And indeed instead it will be offsides on Solomon. See if we can see just what Solomon thought he saw.
Well, it's just, it's just a good hard count there by Gustus, and what happens, and most people don't see this, is Richmond runs a lot of quick motion. If you notice in the backfield, there's running backs running quick motion back from the wing to the handoff position, and Solomon just got fooled on that little quick hard count with somebody going in motion. It just flinched him, and he was offsides.
Villanova, the 4th most penalized team in the Atlantic 10 early in the season. On the cutback, it's Purnell. He tries the left side, gets out to about the 35-yard line, and because of that penalty, it will be 2nd down and only about 1 for the Spiders. Defensively for Villanova, besides Solomon, Will Lewis, the other tackle, the ends, Jameel Butler and Mike Tassay. The linebackers, Joe Keating, Jason McMillian, and Jamison Young. And in the secondary, the corners are Clarence Curry and Gary Johnson. The safeties, Steve Neugebauer and Darnell Green. 2nd down and 1 at the 30. Looks like Gustis is changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Nobody lined up outside the tackle on the left side of that line. Pitch out right side. Plenty of room for the 1st down goes Edwards before he's run out of bounds at the 41-yard line.
Now they're just grinding it out here, and this is typical Richmond football. They're going to run the ball, they're going to run misdirection, then they're going to come out and just run a speed sweep, and you see Gustis making the quick toss out there to Edwards, who gets to the corner, and some great blocking on the corner there as he turns it around, picks up that 1st down.
Richmond began the season with a heartbreaking 17-16 loss at Virginia. A missed extra point prevented an opportunity to tie the game. They led 10-0 before losing at Vanderbilt 28-22 in their 2nd game. Right up the gut, it's the fullback Fulton for a good pickup into Villanova territory to the 49-yard line. It will be 2nd and 2.
And the last couple of times Richmond has come out, they're running an unbalanced formation. So you see they're loading up on the wide side of the field, putting an extra blocker over there. Villanova not adjusting to it, and Richmond taking advantage of it with the extra blocker to the wide side. You'll see right here, you got 3 blockers out there to the right side of your screen, and Fulton just takes it right up the gut and just pounds the heart of that Villanova defense.
He's a load at 5'10", 230 pounds. This time Gustis keeps it, avoids a couple of tackles, and that 2nd effort results in another Richmond 1st down at the Villanova 46-yard line. And there's a Villanova player on the field, shaken up on the play.
Once again, you see they're lining up that on the wide side. They run the pure option where they don't block the defensive tackle in there, number 90, Lewis. He goes for the fullback, and Gustis just turns it up behind him, getting that 1st down. There you see the injured Wildcat on the field.
Jameel Butler is the injured player, 6'3", 225-pound redshirt freshman out of Norristown, Pennsylvania, just outside Philadelphia.
You're going to see it coming right in here. Butler coming in from the outside, and right there he's on the bottom, and his own man, Lewis, goes right on top of him. You see he takes the hit right there. His head kind of snaps back, and then he gets a pile on top of him. And you see Butler kind of goes limp a little bit on the field. That's a scary sight when a guy puts his head in there like that. But it looks like he's getting up.
Trainer Doug Padrone out there to take a look, make sure Butler's okay. Good sign that he's sitting up, and looks like he'll walk off the field on his own power, and that's an excellent sign. We are early in the ball game, 8:02 remaining 1st quarter, no score. Each team has had the ball once. Villanova drove into Richmond territory and had to kick the ball away, and now Richmond has driven into Villanova territory. Villanova has not played since beating Northeastern 3 weekends ago. Of course, everybody was postponed on September 15th. Up the middle on the handoff, it goes to Claude Diggs, a junior from Virginia Beach. And right now, Scott, the Richmond offensive line is winning the battle up front.
Well, that was going to be the key here to this game today. You know, that front 5 of Richmond has a lot of experience. They've got 5 seniors in there starting today, and they've been they got 3 seniors starting, but 4 returning starters from last year, and it's going to be a challenge for that Villanova front 4 to try to contend with that hard blocking Richmond front 5.
Balin Botts, a sophomore from East Hampton, New Jersey, is in to replace the injured Butler at defensive end for Villanova. 2nd down and 3. Long count from Gustis, and he's going to throw for the first time, and he has his man complete to Dan McNair, who's knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line, and another Richmond first down. Richmond, Scott, only had 17 pass completions in its first 2 games.
It's something that Richmond doesn't do a lot of. They just throw enough to kind of keep you honest, and they just run a quick little out here to McNair, who's out there matched up on Johnson, and Johnson laying off, just can't make the play, and it's just a simple little play. And they do that to keep you from ganging up in the middle of the field on their running attack.
Wide to the left is McNair. This time the tight end Millard lines up all the way to the right. Gustis fakes one way, then on the option goes to his left, picks out a hole, and may have managed to get a yard or 2 up the middle. And Richmond controlling the clock, which is exactly what Andy Talley wanted to avoid. Andy Talley told me this week Richmond's offensive line is their strength. The option attack is difficult to defend. We can't let them keep our defense on the field all afternoon. And this drive's a pretty good example of what he was trying to avoid.
Sure is. Now they're eating up the clock. They're keeping Westbrook on the bench and moving into scoring range. And that's what Jim Reed wants out of his offense here today.
2nd down and 8. Offset I. Gustis pitches to the back man Roan. Great block by Fulton. Sprung Roan inside the 25-yard line.
This might be one of the most exciting players on the Richmond roster. You really haven't heard a lot of them, but you're going to hear a lot about this guy in years to come. Roan right there is a backup quarterback. He's in there running back, has great speed, and just takes the quick pitch on the option.
Look at the blocking here.
And you get a great block on the corner there, and that's all you need. There's some great blocking, taking out the Villanova defenders, and Roan just turns it up and picks up a big chunky yardage.
A lot of white shirts wound up on the ground on that play. 3rd down and about 1. And we have some movement on the line, and let's see how this will be sorted out. For the 2nd time on this drive, the Villanova defense has been penalized for being offsides, and this time it gives Richmond a first down inside the Villanova 20. In its first 2 ball games, Villanova was penalized 18 times for 130 yards. The 4th highest total in the Atlantic 10. But that one was by far the most damaging one thus far today. 5:17 remaining. First quarter scoreless between Villanova and Richmond. In motion, Purnell. Gustis will keep it himself. And he takes it inside the 15-yard line. A pickup of about 5. Gustis, 24 carries for 56 yards and a couple of touchdowns in Richmond's first 2 games. He started the first 2 games, but with Jim Reed's system and with the availability of Darcy Wills before he was injured, he likes to play 2 quarterbacks.
Well, in this kind of offense, you never know when one's going to go down. So it's important to keep 2 guys in there. And as you can see, Darcy Wills is out. So he's got Gustis to fall back on in this situation.
Handoff Purnell gets to about the 10-and-a-half-yard line. So it will be 3rd down and about 1 for Richmond. Wills separated his shoulder in the loss to Vanderbilt on September 22nd, this last Saturday. And he's out for the year. So is their strong safety David Giles, who's out with a broken wrist. Gustis thus far today has carried the ball 3 times for 10 yards, and he's completed his only pass attempt for 5. 3rd and 1. Gustis on the keeper, has the first down and goes inside the 5-yard line.
So just great blocking in the middle of that line. You're going to see it right here. It's kind of hard to see it, but they just fire off. They see you establish the line of scrimmage. You see 76, Joe Wilson just turning it out, and Gustis turning up inside. Here you really get a good look. You see Quasi Solomon just gets collapsed down to the inside by Farrer, and that opens it up for Gustis to take it down to the 1-2-yard line. 1st and goal to go from the 2.
Handoff, touchdown, David Edwards. His first touchdown of the season, and Richmond drives 88 yards on its first possession to take the lead. 15 plays, 88 yards, a heck of a drive.
That was kind of a matter-of-fact play, and you're going to see it once again here. You're getting some great blocks off the right side of that offensive line. You're going to see him coming in here. You see Solomon. You see 45, the fullback, coming in there. Fulton, he's looking for somebody to block. They could have scored 2 touchdowns there if they had 2 footballs with those running backs going into the end zone.
In to attempt the extra point is Doug Kirchner. He's only 2 of 5 this year. As we said, a very costly miss against Virginia. He nails this one. And with 3:34 to go in the first quarter, David Edwards' first touchdown run of the season has given Richmond a 7-0 lead. Where 17th ranked Richmond has taken a 7-0 lead over Villanova.
Right, and you see right there, you see 43 Keating comes in there, the linebacker. He just gets collapsed down, and you see the great blocking by 76 Wilson and 72 Ken Farrar, and that just opens the hole up for Edwards to stroll in for that touchdown.
Keep your eye on Westbrook on the kickoff. The kick goes to the opposite side of the field, and it's Gary Johnson who will run it back. And Adrian Archie slows him up and brings him down to the 20-yard line. 88-yard drive in 15 plays. It took, or 83-yard drive in 15 plays. It took 7 minutes and 48 seconds before David Edwards scores. 6 first downs on the drive for Richmond. 4 of them coming on the ground, 1 of them through the air, and 1 of them a key first down, the result of a penalty. So it's 1st and 10 for Villanova on its 2nd possession of the afternoon. The quarterback, Brett Gordon, on the handoff to Westbrook. Right up the middle for about 6 yards. Defensively for the Richmond Spiders, and that has been their strength over the years. Jonathan Wilfon, Randy Witham, the ends. The tackles, all-conference performer Josh Spraker and Andrew Bogle. The linebackers, Ron Samuel, Mark Thompson, and Adrian Archie. And in the secondary, the corners, Jason Hill and Maurice Newbill. The safeties, Ramon Richardson and Chad Blackstock. Richardson replacing all-conference safety David Giles, who broke his wrist in the loss at Vanderbilt last week. Out of the shotgun, it's Gordon. Plenty of time. Incomplete, intended for Shaz Brown, defended by the linebacker Ron Samuel. And how about a linebacker picking up a wide receiver and covering him like a glove?
Yeah, well, Villanova spreads the field out, but as we said, Richmond's not going to do anything different. They're not putting a nickel defense in there. They're playing with their base defense, 3 linebackers, 4 down linemen, and 4 secondary people. So when you spread the field out that way, sometimes you get a matchup with a linebacker on a wide receiver, and you got to step up and make the plays.
Despite playing 2 1A opponents, Richmond 3rd in the conference when it comes to opponents' 3rd down conversions. Their opponents have converted only 29% of them in Richmond's first 2 games. See if Villanova can convert here. Gordon to throw, looks, fires, has Sango. He is short of the first down, and one reason Gordon was able to get the pass off was because Brian Westbrook threw a heck of a block. Jason Hill with the tackle. For the 2nd time today, Chris Birch will come on to do the punting. Take a look at Westbrook's block here.
We're going to see number 20 come around there on Boyer. He makes the nice block, gets Gordon to the corner, but Sango just doesn't get down there far enough. You know, when you're 3rd down and 5, you got to go 6 yards down the field, and Sango just went 4.
Birch punting into the wind. Back deep is Roan. He lets it bounce, and it will be downed by Villanova's Jamison Young at the Richmond 36-yard line. Timeout, 1:57 to go, first quarter. Richmond leads it 7-0. Spiders, who last year shared the conference title with Delaware and received the conference's automatic bid to the NCAA playoffs, enjoying a tiebreaker advantage over the Blue Hens. Richmond with the ball, 1st and 10 in 2nd possession. Gustus nearly tripped over his own 2 feet, then completes the pass to McNair for the first down. Driven out of bounds on the far side by Ray Ventrone. 6th catch of the season for McNair.
Yeah, McNair's out there. Ryan Tolhurst, the normal starter, is out. He was hurt earlier in the year, so McNair goes out. Simple out, but Ventrone, a freshman out there, just gives too much cushion to McNair. McNair makes the easy grab and makes a move for 9 yards and leaves Richmond with 2nd and 1.
McNair lined up wide to the right. In motion, Edwards right up the middle goes the fullback Diggs for the first down. Claude Diggs has scored 1 touchdown thus far this year. So right now, Richmond's game plan is working to perfection when they have the football.
They're just milking the clock here. They're going to try to keep Villanova off balance. I know one of the concerns Andy Talley had coming into this game, they haven't played for 21 days, Villanova. This is almost like a season opener for Villanova, and they're kind of shaking off some of the game day rust that they supposedly shook off a month ago.
On the counter, it's Diggs. Great penetration by Kwesi Solomon, who made the tackle right at midfield after a pickup of about 1. Solomon, 6'4", 280-pound senior from Philadelphia. Preseason first-team All-Atlantic 10 selection. Was a third-team All-Conference performer last year, and 2 years ago as a sophomore was a first-team All-Conference performer. Andy Talley considers Solomon his best pass rusher on that defensive line. 2nd and 8, just inside Villanova territory. Augustus on the pitch. Roan with a good pickup off the grass. And Balin Box will make the stop back at around the 47-yard line. So because of the bad exchange from Gustis, it results in about a 4-yard loss.
Well, Villanova defensively, when you're playing a rushing option team, you really got to pressure the quarterback, make him make quick decisions and untimely decisions. And right there you see Gustis putting one on the ground. Roan makes a nice play scooping it up, but still loses yardage on the run.
So 3rd and 12, a throwing down for the Spiders, who this time go with 3 wide receivers as we get a look at Jake Schools wide to the right for the first time. Uden and McNair to the top of the screen. Instead, the pitch goes forward to Roan. Now, that is considered a forward pass and a completion, but Roan will be stopped short of the first down. And if he did not get out of bounds, that will be the final play of the first quarter. That appears to be the case. So it will be 4th down and about 4 for the Spiders, and the change of quarters comes at an inopportune time because of how windy it is today. And now Richmond will be going into the wind on 4th down. David Edwards' touchdown run, the only points of the ball game. At the end of 1 in Richmond, the Spiders lead at 7-0. Villanova 7-0 on 4th and 4 from the Villanova 44. Richmond into punt for the first time today. Vinnie Murray punting into the wind. Fair catch called for by Burl Sango, who bobbles the ball and then makes the catch at the 23-yard line. And when it's windy like this, Scott, it not only affects the kicker, but it can be a challenge to try to corral those high punts in the wind.
Sure can. You saw it right there. Sango, that ball going into the wind, up there knuckling in the wind. It's kind of moving in all different directions as it's coming down, and Sango bobbled it before he could actually haul it in and get the Wildcats possession there at the 22-yard line.
3rd possession of the afternoon for the Wildcats, who have had to punt the ball away on each of their first 2. I formation behind the quarterback Gordon. Handoff goes to Westbrook left side, and he runs right around Maurice Newbill, who just managed to get enough of Westbrook to push him out of bounds, but not before he picks up a Villanova first down. The first quarter statistics, and as you might imagine, they are all in Richmond's favor, primarily because of that long touchdown scoring drive, an 88-yard drive.
What was that long drive? I think Villanova may have been a little conservative in the first quarter. Like you said, they felt like it was almost like an opening game for them. Plus, they're going into a pretty stiff breeze, so they didn't want to make any big mistakes offensively. I think you'll see them open it up here with the wind at their back.
It's like Gordon changed the play at the line of scrimmage. The ball batted down by big Steve Boyer, 6'3" junior from right here in Richmond out of Douglas Freeman High School. His brother Tom played at VMI, and he got his big paw on this Gordon pass.
Well, you're going to see that a lot from this Richmond defensive line. They're going to rush the passer as far as they can. When they feel that the ball is going to be thrown, Gordon only stands about 5'10". They're going to get up in the air as high as they can, make it difficult for him to see and difficult for him to throw the football.
Gordon rolls right, has plenty of time, throws just a little bit too far, and I think the wind may have been responsible for that overthrow. The intended receiver was Brian White, a junior from Hamilton, New Jersey.
Well, White was wide open on that one, and Gordon wishes he had that throw back because he got around the corner,
didn't really take the time to square up before he threw it. And when you don't square up, you get good rotation on the ball. On a windy day, the ball will sail, and it sailed right out of the reach of White on that throw.
So it'll be 3rd down and 10 now for the Wildcats, who send White and Sango wide right, and Westbrook is in the slot to the right. In 1998, Brian Westbrook had more than 1,000 yards receiving, and he makes the catch here for the 1st down. And look at him run in the open field. Richardson trying to catch him from behind, and does, but not before he gets all the way to the 5-yard line. A pickup on the play of about 60 yards.
Well, the risk you run when you don't put a special defense in there for a guy like Westbrook is he's going to run free in the middle of the field. And you see him lines up in a slot position there, gets matched up on number 7, and just beats him down the middle of the field for that play. And Westbrook, once he gets out in the open, he's just a dynamic running back.
And with that reception, Brian Westbrook moves ahead of Marcel Shipp into 2nd place in Atlantic 10 history in all-purpose yardage. Only one ahead of him now is their former New Hampshire great running back Jerry Azuma. 1st and goal to go for Villanova at the 6. Gordon rolls right, looks, throws, touchdown. Merle Sango made the catch just inside the sideline. And Brett Gordon has his 4th touchdown pass of the year, and Merle Sango with his 1st touchdown reception of the year. All set up on that 60-yard gain on the pass to Westbrook.
That was just a great throw and catch right there, as Sango ran a simple out play on Jason Hill, the cornerback. Wasn't open immediately, but Gordon waited on him and just put the perfect throw in there.
In to attempt the extra point now will be Casey Hannon, who is a perfect 10 for 10 on conversions this year. So it sure didn't take Villanova long to get back into it. The Wildcats march 77 yards in 35 seconds, concluding with Gordon to Sango. We're all even at 7. 175-pound senior from El Toro, California, with his 1st touchdown reception of the year to tie the game.
And you see right there, Gordon rolling out around the corner, gets away from those big defensive linemen in Richmond, and finds Sango in the corner for that initial touchdown for the Wildcats today.
77-yard drive. It took only 31 seconds and 5 plays. The key play, the 61-yard completion on 3rd down from Gordon to Brian Westbrook. A reception for Westbrook, which moved him into 2nd place in the Atlantic 10 career list when it comes to all-purpose yards. Casey Hannon to kick off for the Wildcats. Back deep on the goal line, it will be Cordell Rowan at the 10. And Rowan breaks a couple of tackles and gets it out to the 31-yard line before he's brought down by Todd Hamilton. So 7-7 the score. We've played only 49 seconds here in the 2nd quarter. Richmond looking for its 1st win of the year after a couple of tough losses, heartbreaking defeats really, against 1A opponents. Losing by 1 point at Virginia and by 6 points at Vanderbilt. The rest of the way, the Spiders will be playing 1AA opponents. 1998, they lost their first 2 games and went on to win the Atlantic 10 title. Here's a handoff to Warif Al-Kibalan, 5'8" junior from Chesterfield, Virginia. That's only his 2nd carry of the season. So already Jim Reed has used Fulton, Diggs, Purnell, Roan, Edwards, and Al-Kibalan. 6 different ball carriers, not to mention the quarterback Gustis.
Well, he spreads it out. Last year they set a team record for rushing in a season, almost 3,000 yards, yet they did not have a 1,000-yard running back or rusher on the team. So you know that they spread the ball out to a lot of different people. And
one of them is Claude Diggs, who carries it out to the 40-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and 1. Last year, Richmond rushed for 430 yards on 77 carries in 1 game, and much to the chagrin of the Villanova Wildcats, it came against them in that 35-30 Richmond win at Villanova. Villanova last year was 5-2 and then proceeded to lose its last 4 games, including that loss to Richmond. In motion, Purnell. He gets the handoff, tries to get a block from Diggs, but he will be stopped short of the first down at the 40-yard line. And that will bring on Vinnie Murray to punt for the second time this afternoon.
You know, it's a big play for Richmond. You wouldn't be surprised to see them go for it. They go for the ball 4th and short. They have so much confidence in their rushing attack that they will go for it on 4th and short. It looks like they're going to leave the offense on the field and attempt to go for it here at their own 40-yard line.
Or try to draw that Villanova defense offside and then take the 5-yard penalty and punt if it doesn't work. This is quite a gamble.
Well, we were out here last night, and they do have a play where they send people in motion on hard counts trying to draw you offside. We'll see if they do that.
The handoff goes to Fulton. And if he got it, he did it with a great second effort. Really kept those pads down low and was able to pick up the first down. After the play, a penalty flag is thrown, so that almost certainly will be a post-play personal foul. It was tossed right in the middle of that Villanova defense, and indeed that's what it will be.
They're going to get a look here right in the middle, and that's where Richmond's going to go with it. They try to take it right up the middle as we watch them mark off that penalty. It's going to be 15 yards and get into Villanova territory now on that one.
Fulton did pick up the first down. So far today, Villanova 3 penalties for 25 yards and a couple of really crucial ones, an offside penalty.
Andy Talley's not very happy out there on that one. He knows it's tough. But you're going to see right down the middle, there's a great blocking. You know where you go if you need tough yardage. You go right over your best offensive lineman. That's David Pastilnik, number 51, the center, and that's where they took it. And he grinds it out with Fulton right on his back.
Richmond now 3 of 6 on 4th down conversions this year. Roan, right side, gets a great block from Purnell, and he takes the ball inside the 35-yard line. Darnell Green with the stop for the Wildcats.
I tell you, Roan is a special-looking running back. He gets it in his hands, and he just looks like he's accelerating through the defensive secondary. And he broke a long one against Virginia earlier this year, 46-yarder. We're going to see just a fake in the middle. Roan out his left halfback position, takes that toss. Look at him just striding out. He's eating up about 3 or 4 yards every stride before he gets taken down there in the middle by number 33.
Steve Neugebauer was put on his back by that J.R. Purnell block. So it will be second down and about 1. The ball lined up at the far hash mark just inside the Villanova 35. 11:35 remaining second quarter. Villanova and Richmond are tied. Villanova and Richmond, 2 of the 7 teams in this conference who are ranked in the top 25 nationally in 1AA football. In motion, Purnell. Instead, the handoff goes right up the middle to the fullback. Diggs. All depends on where they spot the football. Looks like indeed he does have a first down. This is one of 5 games being played in Atlantic 10. Between Atlantic 10 opponents today. Delaware and Northeastern are scoreless in the first. The Blue Hens have never lost to the Huskies. Scott and I will be in Newark, Delaware 2 weeks from today, when Delaware will entertain Hofstra. Hope you'll join us for that one. Right side, no room for Al-Kibalon. Lost yardage on the play. May have lost as many as 3 yards. Richmond ranked number 4 in the Atlantic 10 preseason coaches poll. This is the first game for the Spiders against a 1AA opponent.
Well, you see, it's another misdirection play, and they try to run fake to the left, run to the right. Villanova defense doesn't go for the fake. They stay at home and block it all up and make the tackle for a loss. Villanova
number 1 in the Atlantic 10 in rushing defense. They allow only 109 yards per game. Gustus on the option will keep it. And just able to get a piece of them in that backfield, enough to trip them up. For Villanova was Joe Keating, 6'2", 235-pound senior from Lansdale, Pennsylvania, who entering the ball game was Villanova's second leading tackler this year. So that will leave a 3rd down and about 7.5 for the Richmond Spiders. We'll go with 2 wide receivers to the far side. Uden and McNair. To the left side is Jake Schools, a true freshman from Montpelier, Virginia. Quick toss right side to Roan. Avoids one tackle, but can't avoid the other one. And is brought down shy of the first down. So let's see what Jim Reed will do here. The ball will be marked at about the 28-yard line. It will be a 45-yard field goal attempt into the wind. Forget it. That will never happen. Probably too close to punt the football. So Richmond, which has converted once on 4th down on this drive, will try it again on 4th and 5. Villanova defensively. Opponents have converted 3 times on 6 4th down this season. Pitt to the left. Purnell has all kinds of room and hurdles through the Bauer to get the first down inside the 20. Once again, great blocking on the perimeter for the Spiders.
I'll tell you, great blocking by the wide receivers. They got the fake inside and really gave him the corner, but you'll see at the end here, the 2 wide receivers, McNair and Uden, 81 and 82. Right here, as Purnell turns the corner, you're going to see 2 Villanova guys going down, and that really gives them the opportunity to turn the corner. You're going to see right there, Augustus does a good job making the pitch. Purnell has the corner, and the great block by the wide receivers downfield really gives Richmond the opportunity to pick up that first down.
And off straight up the middle to Diggs. May have picked up a yard and a half or 2 on the play. So Richmond has converted twice on 4th down on this drive. Opening the season against 2 Division 1A opponents. Richmond did that for the first time since 1983. Spiders have won or shared 2 of the last 3 Atlantic 10 titles, including a year ago. Motion Al-Kibalon. Gustus on the keeper, and Quasi Sullivan had a handful of his jersey and just would not let go. Gustus did manage to move forward for about a yard on the play, but he wasn't about to get out of the midst of the big 280-pound senior from Philadelphia.
Well, the hard thing for a defensive lineman against this offense is, as a defensive lineman, you're used to getting blocked. You're used to coming off and hitting somebody. And in this play, Quasi is the option man. Gustus, they don't block him. Gustus's job is to read him. If he takes the fullback, Gustus keeps it and runs it. And that time, Quasi kind of had his hands on both the fullback and Gustus and just got enough of Gustus's jersey to take him down.
Villanova going with a 5th defensive back. Todd Hamilton enters on this 3rd down and 7 for Richmond. Gustus on the option, pitches to Al-Kibalon, right side, and he is knocked down at about the 15-yard line, well short of the first down. And Joe Keating, who is actually on the ground, is the defender that created the contact that resulted in the stop. I'm not even sure it was voluntary.
Yeah, Purnell's out there blocking like crazy. He made some great blocks, and Keating that time really took Purnell on and took him and Keating went down, and both of them created a pile that made the tackle on that one.
This will be a 32-yard field goal attempt for Doug Kirchner from this distance. He's 2 for 2 this year. The kick is up, and it's good. So into the wind. The junior from Walbrook, New Jersey, gives the Spiders the lead. It's 10-7 Richmond, 6:33 to go, first half. Kirchner, a look on the sideline at Cordell Roan, the 5'9" junior from right here in Richmond, Marina High School. And he's a very versatile performer.
Well, he sure is. We haven't seen him at the quarterback position yet, but he's at the running back position. He's made some big plays for the Spiders here today, and you just feel like he's getting ready to break out a long one here sometime today.
Roan, the leading rusher for the Spiders, had 88 yards on the ground in his first 2 games, and is actually listed as the 2nd-string quarterback now because of the injury, the season-ending injury to Darcy Wills. Roan did play quarterback in high school, as I mentioned, Marina High School right here in Richmond. But prior to this week, he had not taken a snap at quarterback. Look at the wind just knocked down this kickoff. It's caught by Sango at the 30. And he brings it out to the 35-yard line. But prior to this week, Roan had not taken a snap at quarterback since his freshman freshman year when he was converted to the tailback position, but had to take snaps this week because should something happen to Sean Gustus, number 9 would be the man.
He would be, and you know, you're really the fourth running back out there when you're the quarterback in this Richmond offense, and what better guy to have in there than your leading rusher as the guy who's probably going to carry the ball the most.
55-yard drive, 14 plays, took 7 minutes and 48 seconds, resulting in the go-ahead field goal by Kirchner. Empty backfield behind Gordon, who throws, and it's completed to Shaz Brown for a big pickup all the way to the Richmond 45-yard line. Brown, 5'11" senior from Baltimore, with his 4th catch of the season.
Well, Villanova just spreading the field out. You saw 5 receivers on the line of scrimmage that time. Nobody in the backfield as a running back. Gordon just looks out over the secondary and decides which one is open, and Brown was the guy who was open on the quick slant over the middle.
This time Gordon will operate out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Cross, throws right down the middle of Westbrook. Has the completion all the way to the 25-yard line. Villanova looks like they're running a 2-minute offense. Penalty marker on the play. Far sideline. Ineligible receiver downfield on the Wildcats. So Villanova has been absolutely killed by penalties today.
Well, that's what is going to devastate a team, and then they look like a team that's almost playing their first game, and that's what Andy Talley was worried about. Even though they played 2 games, it's been 21 days, as we said at the opening, since they played a football game, a competitive football game. All they've been doing is practicing, and they're coming out and making some mental mistakes here, penalties that are making it difficult for them. But you know, they're only down 10-7 and have such an explosive offense as we've seen throughout this game, that they can score from anywhere and any time.
4th penalty against the Wildcats today. Villanova, in its first 2 games, had scored on 9 of 13 first-half possessions and has yet to turn the ball over in the first half of the game this season. They've only turned the ball over 1 time period. Before the ball is snapped, a timeout will be called by Villanova. First timeout of the afternoon for the Wildcats with 5:33 to go in the half, and Villanova trailing by a score of 10-7. All 11 Atlantic 10 teams are in action today. 10 of them going head-to-head against conference brethren. Northeastern out to an early 6-0 lead over Delaware first quarter up in Boston. New Hampshire and William and Mary, that game's only about 60 miles from here in Williamsburg, just down Interstate 64, scoreless in the first quarter. Rhode Island and Brown in a non-league game for the Rams. They are scoreless in the first quarter. The Rams trying to jump out to a 4-0 start. Massachusetts will play at Hofstra tonight under the lights in Hempstead, Long Island. Also under the lights, James Madison will be up in Orono, Maine. Might be a little chilly by 7 o'clock tonight in Orono, Maine.
I'll tell you, it's chilly down here. I would not be surprised to see snow in the air up there in Maine.
Following the Villanova timeout, 1st and 15 for the Wildcats at midfield. On the draw, Westbrook. Showed great balance, tried to change directions a couple of times, and picks up about 6.
Boy, you just saw it all right there with Westbrook. You know, it wasn't a long run, but you saw all his talents come out there. He's used his great vision, his strength, and his ability to make cuts and keep his balance. And he just comes up with plays where there's seemingly nothing to be had, and that's what makes him such a great player.
Westbrook, the leading rusher in Villanova history, had 3,164 yards on the ground entering today's ball game. He's the lone setback, and the direct snap goes to Westbrook. Now in the flea flicker, pitches back to Gordon, rolls left, and he's being run down from behind by Ramon Richardson from his free safety position. That's the sort of play, Scott, that can test the resolve of a secondary, and as Gordon looked downfield, evidently he saw nothing there.
There's nothing there. You know, you do the old flea flicker. They have Brian White trying to get open down the middle of the field, but the Richmond secondary was all over him. Gordon had no place to go with the football. You see him looking down the field. You see White coming into the picture, but he's completely covered there by 2 Richmond defenders. Number 10, Jason Hill, the one who takes it away, and Richardson just runs down Gordon for the sack.
How about eliminating the middleman there and just snapping it directly to the tailback?
Well, we'll see that before this game's over.
3rd and 13. Gordon out of the gun. Looks, throws, incomplete. Defended brilliantly by Rashad Smith, the nickelback. 5'10" sophomore from Philadelphia. So that ineligible receiver downfield penalty, which took away the big pickup in first down, just torpedoed that Villanova drive, and it will be 4th down. And Birch will punt, and with the wind at his back in the line of scrimmage, the 48, it might be tough for him to keep this out of the end zone. Roan back at his own 10. He's going to try to run it out. And he's brought down on an ankle tackle by Jamison Young at the 16. Timeout, 3:52 to go, first half, and Richmond leads Villanova by 3. Villanova Wildcats with 3:52 to go in the first half. Let's take a look at the Verizon game story. The total yards very close. The rushing yards not close at all.
No, well, it's completely different focus here. Villanova's going to throw it. Richmond obviously going to run it, but the big stat you see down there, Villanova with 5 penalties for 35 yards, Richmond 0 penalties. That's really been the difference in this ball game here as Richmond leads 10-7.
Brian Westbrook with 106 all-purpose yards already today. On first down, Gustus fakes the handoff. He's looking deep downfield, down the middle. Penalty marker on the play. Incomplete, the pass intended for McNair, but I think we're going to get either a defensive holding or a pass interference call on Gary Johnson, the defender on the play. All depends whether the flag was thrown before the ball was in the air or not.
Going to be holding against Johnson there, and that's the pressure that you have as a cornerback here. With this option offense, the safeties are required to come up and defend the run, which leaves you man-to-man all by yourself back there on the receivers. And Johnson trying to stay with McNair man-to-man, grabbed him because he knew he was beat. Ball just sails over his head there, and Johnson makes a good recovery to knock it down, but he grabbed him about 15 yards before the ball came down and gives Richmond that penalty, moves them out of their own end zone and out to the 25-yard line.
So the 5th penalty on the Wildcats, although that is one in college football, especially when it's pass interference, it is not a spot foul unless it's less than a 15-yard pickup. So if you're beaten and you're a defender, the prudent thing to do is to reach out and grab the guy. Now Villanova is indicating that they have the ball, and indeed they do. Will Lewis ran it all the way in, but the play was whistled dead at the 25-yard line. But Villanova has recovered the football on the first turnover of the afternoon. That's only the 3rd time that Richmond has turned the ball over this year, the 2nd time via a fumble.
Oh, this is the bane of the Richmond defense or offense. He can't fumble the football. You see Fulton takes it in there, number 45, just gets smacked there by Young, and the balls are flying out all over the place. But we know Lewis came up with it, and Villanova now has great field position on the turnover. 2nd fumble recovery for the Wildcats this year. Gordon to throw, fires, completed to Luke Stopper inside the 20-yard line. And Gordon to Stopper, both of them 3rd-generation football players at Villanova, believe it or not. Both of them, their fathers and their grandfathers played football at Villanova. Stopper's dad, John, played for the Wildcats between 1967 and 69, and his grandfather, Anthony, played from 35 to 37. 2nd down, Gordon, handoff, Westbrook. He's spun around by Steve Boyer, and a loss of 5 on the play. Now Gordon, also a 3rd-generation football player, not only a 3rd-generation player, a 3rd-generation quarterback. There's his dad, Drew, who played at Villanova 1969, 70, and 71, had 2,370 yards passing. And Brett's grandfather, Andrew, was a quarterback at Villanova between 1946 and 1948. Gordon to throw, fires, off balance, and it's completed to Brian White, another penalty marker on the play. This one's in the Villanova backfield. And if it's against the Wildcats, it will be their 6th penalty of the afternoon.
This one will be a clipping penalty.
When you were talking about Drew Gordon, and Drew is right next to us here in the radio booth. You can just kind of see him in the window to the left. If I had a telestrator, I would get you up there. You can't quite see him. He's right there. His hand just came out, and he's right behind the kind of the window pane, and you can just see his profile there as he keeps turning, talking to his colleague. But he's doing the radio for Villanova football here today, and it must be a thrill for him to watch his son and do the radio game at the same time.
An outstanding career thus far for Brett Gordon, who succeeded all-conference quarterback Chris Bowden here at Villanova. Last year, Gordon led the conference in passing efficiency. Completed 184 passes for 2,293 yards and 22 touchdowns. And with time running out on the play clock, Villanova will use its second timeout. And with 1:57 to go, they will talk things over, trailing 10-7 on 3rd and about 19. Coming up at halftime, Scott and I will take a look inside the Atlantic 10. We'll tell you about the conference players of the week a week ago. Also look at the early season standings. And also tell you about a crucial injury which occurred on the practice field this week, which is certainly going to hurt the chances of one of the Atlantic 10 teams. That's all coming up inside the Atlantic 10 at halftime. This is the first of 6 telecasts we'll have for you this season. In 2 weeks, it will be Hofstra and Delaware. And your alma mater, Delaware, got off to a rough start, Scott, losing at home to a very surprising Rhode Island team, and then playing perhaps the best 1AA team in the country, Georgia Southern, on the road.
Yeah, Georgia Southern really put it to them down there. They rebounded back last week, got a win, and they got a tough game against Northeastern here today.
Gordon rolled right. Nothing was open there, so he threw the ball away, and that will bring up a 4th and 19. Now, keep in mind, the wind is at Villanova's back, but instead of Casey Hannon, it's Chris Birch, the punter, who's going onto the field. And there's a look at the flag, one of the flags atop the University of Richmond Stadium. Stadium which first opened in 1929. So Birch to punt at the 50. Back to receive at his 10-yard line is Cordell Roan. He hangs it up. Roan will let it go. And if that ball did not cross the plane to the goal line, but evidently it did, they're signaling touchback. The rule in college football is very, very different than in professional football. College football, you can literally be standing in the end zone and down a punt as long as the ball does not break the plane of the goal line. Of course, that's not the rule in the NFL. But the ball did indeed break the plane, and instead it comes out to the 20. 1st and 10 for the Spiders from there, 1:42. Now, when you're a team that primarily runs the football, Scott, when you're in the 2-minute drill, it's a little more challenging.
Well, this isn't even a 2-minute drill. This is an extension of the football game for Richmond, and this is really run the clock out territory. When you're winning 10-7 and you're a running football team, you're not necessarily worried about getting points. You just don't want to give up any more points.
Out of the shotgun, Gustis, and on the quarterback draw, he'll take it himself across the 20, tripped up on the play by Ryan Breeden, 5'11" sophomore from Mayfield Village, Ohio. Richmond has all 3 of its timeouts left.
Yeah, they're just looking to get one of these talented running backs an opening, get him a crease and see if he can break a long one and get them down in scoring territory. Then their focus will change. But as long as they're on their end of the field, they're going to just stick with their regular running attack.
Flanker screen to Roan, who cuts back the other way and has all kinds of room on the right side. Gary Johnson trips him up at about the 49-yard line. Roan that time lined up all the way to the left, and instead of going up the field on a pattern, took the quick toss from the quarterback Gustis and then ran laterally. He must have run 45 yards from east to west.
Well, it's clearly becoming, Roan is becoming the the Brian Westbrook of Richmond here. They look to get him the football any way they can. It's a simple little screen pass out to the left side. Roan cuts back all the way across the field. Now they're in midfield. Now they can open things up a little bit here in Richmond's park.
Here's the pitch forward to Roan. He goes around the right side for about 9 more. Again, that will be considered a forward pass. Doesn't matter whether you throw it overhand, underhand, or between your legs. If it goes forward, for statistical purposes, it's a pass attempt. And that play, a pass completion. And he did get the first down. Ball at the 40. Clock stopped.
You know, and the other thing you have to watch out for Roan, he has a backup quarterback. You know, one of those little toss plays could turn into the halfback pass down the field later in the game.
Out of the shotgun. Again, it's Gustis. He rolls left, has all kinds of time. Waits, throws. Acrobatic one-hand catch by McNair. We're going to get a penalty on the play. I wonder whether Boyd Uden may have set up a pick illegally for Richmond. Uden was also downfield ahead of McNair.
I think he may have stepped out of bounds before he made the grab.
Oh, well, you can't do that either unless the defender touches it first.
Right. So he stepped out, came back in, so it's an incomplete pass, and it'll go back to the line of scrimmage.
Keep your eye on number 81. He was an ineligible receiver because he did step out of bounds. Let's see if we can pick it up on this shot.
You're going to see the rollout right here. 81 is just on the sideline. You can't really see it, but he was out of bounds there, and he kind of jumped back in before he made that one-handed grab, and that immediately made him ineligible to catch a football down the field unless it was touched by a defender first.
So it will be second down and 10 at the 40. Gustis, quarterback draw again. Let's see if Richmond wants to use a timeout here. They will, stopping the clock with 41 seconds remaining. First timeout used by Richmond. It'll be 3rd and 7 at about the 37-yard line. Again, a very brisk wind in Richmond's face. So a field goal would be out of the question heading in this direction unless they get very close.
Well, they're thinking the 4-down territory here, I think, Bob. You know, they're going to look to get as much as they can on 3rd down, get up there on the ball, maybe even use one of their timeouts. They have 2 remaining, and set up a play where they can pick up that first down if they don't get it here on this 3rd and 7. You know, their goal is to try to get it down there, get it in the scoring territory, whether by field goal or breaking a big one with one of their talented players, either Gustis or Roan in this situation.
We mentioned earlier the injury, the season-ending injury to the other quarterback, Darcy Wills. Andy Talley wishes Wills was unavailable last year when these two teams played. Wills rushing 20 times for 151 yards. Only threw the ball 4 times and completed 2 for 24 yards. So the good news is Villanova held Richmond to 24 yards passing a year ago. The bad news is Richmond rushed the ball for 430 yards in the victory. Following Richmond's first time out, 3rd and 7 for the Spiders at the Villanova 37. Gustis this time will take the direct snap from center. And he bumps into his teammate Diggs. Pitch goes behind Roan, who made an acrobatic catch and moves forward to about the 32-yard line. And let's see if Richmond will use another timeout here on 4th down. It will be 4th and about 2. Heck of a catch here by Roan.
I'll tell you, this was a nice play as Gustis gets knocked into. Roan reaches back, and look at that move, making people miss and taking what could have been a 5 or 6 yard loss and picking up about 4 on the play and leaving Richmond with a decent 4th down conversion opportunity here.
That's not exactly the way that play was diagrammed, was it?
Not at all. Roan wanted to catch that one in stride and use those long legs and try to get to the corner. But he did the best that he could with what he had. Right now, Richmond talked it over there on the sideline. You got Jim Reed trying to figure out what he wants to do, how he wants to break one open, and they're going to use that misdirection play. And you know, I would think that they would go with the option. That's their strength in here. Try to get to the corner and give their best players the opportunity to make the play, whether it's Gustis by keeping the ball in the option or getting the ball to Roan on the pitch.
Richmond has converted both fourth downs thus far today, both on the same drive on that field goal drive. Gave them a 10-7 lead. On this drive, Gustis has run the ball twice for 9 yards and has completed 2 or 3 passes for 34 yards. So Roan will come to the sideline, and into the lineup Kenny Dantzler, sophomore from Mitchellville, Maryland. So he is the 7th different player to line up in the backfield behind Gustis today. Gustis changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Dantzler lined up as a wingback. Now he's in motion.
Not going to snap it here. They're just trying to draw him offside. Now they're going to reload and then determine what they're going to do.
So with the 5-yard delay of game penalty, that will make it 4th and 8. So what do you do here? Do you punt the football?
No, I think they go for it here. 4th and 8. You know, they're on their Villanova 33-yard line. There's only 30 seconds left, which
Villanova only has 1 timeout left. So
one timeout, but it's still plenty of time for Villanova to move the ball down the field, may have the back, wind to their back, so that extends their range on the kick. But I think Richmond here, they want to get some more points. They know they're going to have to score some points to win this game.
Now, there was no delay of game penalty. Richmond used its last timeout before the whistle was blown, so it will still be 4th down and 5. Rhode Island leading Brown 7-0. Last time the Rams were 3-0, they lost at Brown. 3-0 again this year playing at Brown. Millard, the tight end, lines up to the left. Gustis rolls right. On 4th down, he's going to keep it, and he's upended by Gary Johnson. Down anyway. Let's see where they spot it. He's got the first down, so how do you like that? Gary Johnson really makes a great play defensively.
And this is why Jim Reed loves this kid so much. He's got such guts. He's such a competitor. You see right here, he's going to get stopped, held short of the first down, and he just goes up over Johnson. He needs about 3 more yards to get the first down from where he gets hit, and he just takes it in the air and gets the first down.
27 seconds to go. Gustis to throw on first down, and he will be sacked. No timeouts left, and the clock does not stop on a sack in college football. So that's going to be a time eater. Let's see if they line up and spike the ball.
Well, that's where you see inexperience of a team that really doesn't throw the ball a lot. You want to throw those away. You don't want to try to make something happen up the middle of the field.
8 seconds left. Incomplete, intended for Uden. The clock stops with 5 seconds left. And it will be 3rd down and about 10. Again, because of the wind, you would never consider even attempting a field goal.
Well, you just got to throw it into the end zone here. You don't have any timeouts. There's no play. Unless you can get one to the sideline. But even with 5 seconds, chances are the pass is going to run out if you don't get one to the end zone.
Roan wide right. Uden and McNair to the left. Gustis to throw. Looks. He puts it up for grabs, intended for Roan, and it's intercepted in the end zone by Gary Johnson. His 2nd interception of the season, and that will bring the first half to an end. So very entertaining first half in the conference and home opener for the Richmond Spiders. Richmond jumping out 7-0, Villanova tying it, and then Richmond regaining the lead on the field goal. So Edwards with a 2-yard run for the Spiders. Brett Gordon with a 6-yard pass to Merle Sango. It's 10-7 Richmond at half. With Scott Bruner, all 11 teams in the Atlantic 10 in action today, and 10 of them going head-to-head in conference games. Delaware leading Northeastern 7-6 at the half. That's a surprise, Scott, but the Blue Hens have been able to score only 7 points.
Yeah, they've been having problems scoring the football down there in Newark, and this game up in Boston, Northeastern hanging tough with the Blue Hens.
New Hampshire leading William & Mary 7-3 second quarter. That game only about 60 miles from here. Both of those teams off to 1-0 starts in the league.
Yeah, and those are two teams that can really put points on the board, especially New Hampshire's having a great year. Lewis and Day, really putting big numbers up, and William and Mary playing without their star middle linebacker is hanging in there tough against a potent offense.
Yeah, Mohamed Yousafi breaking his leg in practice this week in a non-league game. Rhode Island leading Browns 7-3 on the road. First quarter, the Rams off to a 3-0 start. All 3 wins in the conference.
Yeah, big start in conference. This would be a nice win for Tim Stowers and his team up there in Kingston, Rhode Island.
And a couple of games tonight under the lights. Massachusetts will be playing at Hofstra. UMass, the national champion in 1998, off to an 0-3 start. One of those losses against Division 1A Marshall.
Yeah, well, this was going to be one of those marquee games when you look at it at the beginning of the season. But UMass having some problems. They're trying to retool up there a little bit. And Hofstra looks like they're going to keep rolling on with a potent offense and Rocky Butler leading the way at quarterback.
James Madison at Maine. The Dukes trying to avoid getting off to an 0-3 start in the league.
Yeah, James Madison, they lost their first home game under Mickey Matthews last week, and they're going up to Maine, and Jake Eaton's been playing very well as the quarterback up at Maine, and Maine is looking for a big win against JMU.
Next week in the Atlantic 10, Delaware will be at New Hampshire. Hofstra will visit William and Mary. Villanova will return home to entertain James Madison. Richmond will be back in action next week, and it'll be right back on the road. Richmond will be playing at Maine, and outside the league, Northeastern will play Harvard, and Rhode Island with another non-conference game against Hampton.
Well, that'll be a big game next week. That William and Mary Hofstra game, with Butler. You got David Corley, a quarterback. He's an exciting player, and there's probably going to be a lot of points put on the board down in Williamsburg.
Got a shot at Jim Reed. Jim Reed said the Atlantic 10 is a great conference for the fans, very exciting for the fans, and it is a nightmare to coach in.
Especially when you're a defensive-minded coach like Jim.
And Jim Reed is actually, he has coached the special teams for years, and he's coaching the defense himself this year. He's had several changes to his staff, as has Andy Talley, by the way. And this year, you're looking at the defensive coordinator. His name's Jim Reed.
Defensive coordinator, special teams coach, and head coach. And he's a great motivator. That's what makes him so special. And that's really what's propelled him into the top echelons of college football coaching on the 1AA level. He's gotten those great accolades last year as coach of the year in the conference. His team has won the conference a number of times over the last few years, and he looks to continue that tradition down here at Richmond.
Casey Hannon kicking off into the wind, and again the wind knocking that one down, and it's going to be run back on the far sideline by Boyd all the way to the 37-yard line. So great field position to begin the second half for the Spiders, who had a couple of long, time-consuming scoring drives in the first half. One of them an 88-yarder, resulting in a touchdown.
Well, interesting decision here at the beginning of the third quarter. Villanova received to start the game, and they've elected to kick off into the wind here. Richmond had the opportunity. They elected to receive here at halftime. Villanova electing to kick off into the wind, so they get the wind in the fourth quarter.
Justice on the keeper. Rolls right, throws, and he has his man across the middle. It's juggled and caught by Edwards. Gary Johnson with the tackle for Villanova. That was David Edwards' first pass reception of the season.
That's a nice play right there. Again, using the run fake to hold that line, the linebackers in close, and they stay up close, and Edwards just sneaks down the field. It's wide open in the middle of the field where the linebackers should be, and Johnson is left there by himself trying to make the tackle.
McNair lines up wide to the left on 1st and 10 at the Villanova 43. In motion, Edwards, and he gets the handoff. May have picked up a couple of yards off the left side of that Richmond offensive line, which has done such an excellent job today. Justin McElfish, Josh Burnett, David Pastilnik, Ken Farrar, and Joe Wilson. Joe's twin brother, John, is a reserve offensive tackle. Both of them out of Doylestown, Pennsylvania. So it will be 2nd down and 8. Augustus drops back to pass. Looks, throws left, has his man McNair, and McNair avoids a tackle, nearly picked up the first down. So how about the Spiders coming out throwing on 2 of their first 3 plays here?
Well, Jim Reed says, you're going to give us the wind, we're going to throw with the wind. And Augustus does a good job here, just a quick out. You know, he has plenty of room, big cushion over there, and Neugebauer comes in there and makes a hit on McNair before he picks up the first down.
So it will be 3rd down and 1. Richmond entering the ball game next to last in 3rd down conversions in the Atlantic 10. Converted only 29% of them. Augustus to Diggs. Looks like they do convert this one. Let's see where they spot the ball. It would appear that he picked up the yardage needed. This is the home opener for the Spiders. They will call for a measurement. It's one of only 4 home games. Of course, that's a byproduct of playing 2 1A opponents. A 1A opponent is certainly not going to play you on the road. So Richmond with only 4 home games on their 11-game schedule this year, and this is the first one.
Right, it makes it tough for a team like this, but you know, with 9 games left, it doesn't look so bad anymore. Now we got the 2 big ones out of the way early.
It looks like they did not pick up the first down, but we saw Richmond go for it on 3 times in the first half. Certainly would not expect anything differently here. Richmond hoping to duplicate their 1998 season when they started 0-2 and went on to win the Atlantic 10 title. Off to an 0-2 start again this year. Spiders were ranked 6th nationally in the final 1AA poll a year ago. So on 4th down and inches, Gustus with the keeper, and it looks like he certainly has the yardage that he needed for the first down. And indeed he does.
He just tucked his head down there behind Postelnik and McElfish and picks up that first down. And once again, the Villanova defense is on the ropes.
17th first down for Richmond to only 4 for Villanova.
It makes it so tough to play defense when you have to play 4 downs. Usually you play 3 downs, you go off the field. Against Richmond, you got to play all 4 downs on defense.
In motion is Edwards. Gustus keeps it himself and will be brought down at the 30-yard line. Jamison Young, the first Wildcat to make contact. Young out of Overbrook High School, lives in Sickerville, Pennsylvania. Same high school where Heisman Trophy winner and current New York Giant Ron Dane played his scholastic football. Wide to the left is McNair. Ball at the near hash mark, and it looks like Gustus might be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Long count from center. Play clock is down to 4. And finally, Gustus will call for a timeout. He did not like what he saw defensively, and he avoids the delay of game penalty by using Richmond's first timeout here in the second half. Jim Reed, 50 years old, born in Medford, Massachusetts, was a captain and a safety at the University of Maine during his collegiate days. He is not only the head coach, he's also the defensive coordinator and the special teams coach. No wonder he lost all that weight. He's got to be in fighting shape to do all 3 jobs.
No, he's a busy guy, and he's up at he's in the office at 5 o'clock every morning because he has all that extra film study to do now, getting ready for both the defensive side and the special team side of things. I mean, he's a special guy too. You know, you hear some of the stories that you know, come out of here about his kids, and he really treats his team like a family, and each one of his players is like a son. And you know, he sets up special study halls and puts the kids that, you know, are doing Spanish together, and he makes them speak Spanish when they have breakfast. They can't speak English at all. They have to speak Spanish completely. You know, or he carries flashcards around with him, and he flips up flashcards of Spanish words and makes them, you know, give them the definition of the word right there. So he takes it far beyond just coaching football with these kids.
Following the timeout, in motion is Purnell. Handoff to the fullback Diggs, right up the middle. to about the 25-yard line. So it will be 3rd down and about 3. Just to give you an idea of the relationship that Jim Reed has with his players, he told me that when we were presented the opportunity to play not only Virginia but also Vanderbilt, I left it up to the kids. I said, fellas, we're going to be playing them only 3 weeks apart. It could wind up with some injuries. It might jeopardize our chances to defend our conference title. But he said the kids wanted to have a chance to play the very best in competition, so they went ahead and scheduled the game. Handoff up the middle to Diggs. All depends on the spot. He is very close to where he needs to be. Obviously, Richmond is in 4-down territory, which is basically any place on the field for them today.
That's for sure. They're not afraid to go for it. If it's a yard or less, they'll go for it on their own 30-yard line. In fact, that's what they did last year against Villanova. They were coming out, they had 1:30 left in the game on their own 32-yard line, and they were looking at a 4th and 1, and he didn't want to give the ball back to Brian Westbrook. He went for it from his own 32-yard line, picked up the 1st down, and iced the game.
4th down and inches. Gustis, handoff, Diggs. Looks like he's got the 1st down again. So Richmond has already eaten up 4.5 minutes off the clock here in the 3rd quarter, and they have a 1st down at the Villanova 22-yard line.
You know, it's not exciting football, but it surely is effective. And you see good hard running in there. You see number 77, McElfish, trying to get a block in there on Keatings, and just gets enough of them to let Fulton get in there for the 1st down.
2 wide receivers to the left. Pass to Roan. Makes the catch. Short pickup to about the 21-yard line. May have managed to get only a yard on the play. They're using the 2 wide receivers as blockers on that particular play, but the Villanova defense did a good job of sniffing that one out.
Well, when you're a wide receiver in this offense, you're really another blocking end and expected to make a couple of big catches throughout the game, but you're out there to block, and that's what they tried to do, just set up a quick screen out there to Roan, get a couple of blocks by the wide receivers, but Villanova defense and Darnell Green was right there to make the hit.
Looks like Gustis may be changing the play again on 2nd down and 9. Takes the handoff, keeps it himself, breaks 1 tackle, and is brought down at about the 16-yard line by Steve Neugebauer and Joe Keating.
You know, this looks simple, but this ball handling is very complicated. You see him going in there, making the fake in the middle, fakes out the defensive lineman, Lewis, and then just tucks right in behind it, picks up 5 or 6 yards on a run. So you see it here from ground level. You see Gustis just popping right out of the pile. Gets down the field and takes the hit from Keating and Neugebauer, but gets some good yardage, setting up a 3rd and 4.
Roan in motion. He'll take the pitch. Goes around the right side. Purnell missed the block on Neugebauer, who makes the tackle at about the 13.5-yard line. So it will be 4th down. And it looks like they need about 1.5 yards or 2 yards. With the wind at his back, it is certainly well within the range of place kicker Hurts.
Well, you see there, Roan on the speed sweep, and Neugebauer did a great job fighting through the block of Purnell and making that tackle to keep Roan from getting to the corner. Certainly would have gotten the 1st down and possibly into the end zone.
So on 4th and 2, they're going to go for it. Wide to the left is McNair in motion. Purnell, Gustis pitches to him. Purnell has room around that side, and he's got the 1st down inside the 10-yard line. So Richmond is now 6 for 6 on 4th downs today.
You know, and just once again, just a simple little one, a speed option out there, and Gustis makes the nice pitch. He sees the corners established, and Purnell not going to get fancy. He knows he has to get 4 yards for the 1st down, puts his head down, and gets 6. 1st down Richmond at the 10-yard line.
Boy, they may never use a scholarship on a punter again. 6 for 6 on 4th down. Gustis, handoff to Fulton, and the big fullback spins his way inside the 5.
Now, this is where you're seeing the physicalness of Richmond. This is kind of where playing the big-time football pays off, because you're used to playing hard football into the second half. And Richmond's coming out here, they're playing hard, tough-nosed football, and they kind of wear you down. And usually the bigger teams wear the 1AA teams down in the second half, and Richmond tries to do the same thing against their opponent at the 1AA level.
Second down, Justice, hands off, Edwards for his second touchdown of the afternoon. So Richmond takes the second half kickoff and keeps the ball for 7 minutes and 53 seconds before scoring its second touchdown of the afternoon.
Those are the same play they scored the first time. You see the fullback leading up in there, Diggs. He gets a good block, and Edwards just takes it on the sweep and turns it right off tackle for the touchdown run.
Now Kirchner in to attempt the extra point. Vinnie Murray, the punter, will hold. And it's good. Timeout, 7:07 remaining in the third quarter. A 63-yard drive in 15 plays, concluding with David Edwards' second touchdown of the afternoon. Richmond leads it by 10. Following Edwards' second touchdown run of the afternoon.
You know, and what's so impressive here, look at how many Villanova defenders are on the ground. They take them right to the ground. That lets that running back turn it up the field, and Edwards turns it into the end zone.
Kirchner to kick off following that 63-yard 15-play drive. And of course, keep in mind, whenever you're kicking off to Villanova, at the other end is Brian Westbrook, the most prolific kickoff return man in 1AA history. Westbrook and Gary Johnson are both back. And the ball goes to the right, and so too does Westbrook. He ran one back for a touchdown already this season. And Westbrook just absolutely makes a terrific run back out of seemingly nothing all the way to the 44-yard line. And from there, Villanova will take over. Brian Westbrook has returned 5 kickoffs for touchdowns in his career. That is tied for the most in Division I history. He also, entering the ballgame, had 2,109 kickoff return yards in his career. That's the best in Atlantic 10 history and the second best in NCAA Division I AA history. Quick pitch, left side, Sango gets a nice block from his fellow wide receiver Brian for about an 8-yard pickup.
Well, now the pressure's on the Villanova offense. They've been on the bench for quite a while. The end of the first half, and now here for the first 8 minutes of the second half. And Brett Gordon's really going to have to warm things up a little bit, get the ball spread around, and put some points on the board.
Second down and 2. Ball just beyond the midfield stripe. Westbrook lines up slot left. Gordon out of the shotgun, hands off to Cameron Cross, and nothing happening there. He's driven back. It all depends where they mark his forward progress. Penalty marker thrown at the end of that play. Where his forward progress is marked will indicate just how much of a loss it is, but Richmond will be called for a face masking penalty.
Well, that's the first Richmond mistake of the day. They had him stop cold, and just their enthusiasm to put the hit on and take Cross down. Somebody reached in there, grabbed the face mask inadvertently, and they're going to get marched off for the penalty. First
penalty of the afternoon for the Spiders. Villanova has had 7 penalties for 60 yards. Andy Talley told me this week, you cannot run the ball laterally against Richmond. We have to be able to run north-south. We have to throw the ball up the field. We must keep them off balance. Gordon, low snap, throws right, cross, incomplete, and it's intercepted on the ricochet by Hildert. He dropped the ball. There's a penalty marker in the Villanova backfield. Evidently, Hill did drop the ball. On the ricochet, he nearly came up with his first interception of the season. He's a preseason second-team All-Atlantic 10 selection. Looks like it's a holding call against Villanova. So this one will come back.
you go. You got the holding on the play, and just good, hard defensive line play by Richmond, putting pressure on Gordon, and Villanova was lucky to get away with this one. Right there, you see Hill had it in his hands, and it would have been a nice play.
He started to run the other way, Scott.
Well, he saw a lot of green in front of him right there. He had clear sailing if he makes this one, because there's nobody between him and the end zone.
The ball will come back to the 40-yard line. Fakes the reverse, throws the screen to Westbrook. Has Richards in the center in front of him, and Westbrook will pick up about 10 or 11 on the play. Gets it to about the 44-yard line.
Well, it's pretty simple. All you got to do is follow number 20. Chances are you're going to find the ball eventually, and that's what happens here. Is they run the fake reverse and just set up the little screen out there for Westbrook, and you see number 7, Archie, thinks he gets held there on that play, but no call, and Westbrook gets around the corner and picks up the nice yardage on the first down play.
So it'll be second down and 10. Safety blitz. Here comes Blackstock. The pass incomplete, intended for Westbrook, with the other safety, Richardson, covering. Brian Westbrook is a preseason first-team All-Atlantic 10 selection as a running back and as a return specialist. A year ago, as a junior, he was the Atlantic 10 Offensive Player of the Year. In 1998 and again last year, he was a first-team All-Atlantic 10 performer on offense. He did not play in 1999, missed the entire season with a torn knee ligament. So this is his 5th year at Villanova and his final year of eligibility. He's got 138 all-purpose yards today. Gordon to throw, scrambles, rolls right, chased by Fred Haynes. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Westbrook at about the 34-yard line.
Well, a lot of pressure on Gordon here today. He's just not able to sit in that pocket and deliver the ball quickly. Richmond's changing up their coverages. They're taking away his first read and forcing him to scramble away from the rush, and just hasn't been able to find anybody and find his rhythm offensively.
So Richmond kept the ball for 7 minutes and 53 seconds. Villanova kept the ball for only 55 seconds. And Birch in to do the punting. He's averaging 34.8 yards on 4 punts a day. This one's a beauty. Roan will let it go. Will go into the end zone for a touchback, and Richmond will take over at the 20. It's the home opener for the Richmond Spiders. Also their conference opener. 6:05 to go in the third, and they lead it by 10. Shine and some clouds on this final Saturday in September in the capital city of Virginia, Richmond, home of the University of Richmond campus, where they've been playing football for the last 118 years. Richmond has outgained Villanova 252 to 157. On first down, it's Cordell Roan with the pitch, and he takes it around the right side for a pickup of 6 on the play. Andy Talley was the head coach at St. Lawrence University before coming to Villanova. Took the St. Lawrence Saints to the NCAA Division III semifinals in 1982. Also an assistant at Springfield College, Middlebury, and Brown. Mark Whipple, the coach at the University of Massachusetts, among the many people who served as assistant coaches under Andy Talley. That was in St. Lawrence. On the reverse, right side, lots of room for Oud, and he's got big Joe Wilson in front of him to string him, and no one's going to catch him. No penalty flags on the play. This one's going to go all the way for 74 yards. Boyd Uden on his first carry of the season. It's going to be tough to surpass him when it comes to rushing yards per attempt.
Well, it's just a great play, well thought out, and just run at the perfect time. You see they're running, going to get the whole Villanova defense going right, and then Uden comes around to the Villanova left, and all he has to do is make one man miss. That's Hamilton, number 1, and it's off to the races for 74 yards, and Richmond looks like they're taking control of this game.
Joe Wilson, 6'3", 275-pound sophomore tackle from Doylestown, Pennsylvania, out ahead of him. He took care of the cornerback, Clarence Curry. And Kirchner's extra point attempt is no good. That's the 4th one he's missed this year. But Richmond has come out of the gates with touchdowns on each of its first 2 possessions. It's opened up a 16-point lead in the second half. His first career rushing attempt.
Boy, and he made the best out of it. You watch this move on Hamilton. He just makes Hamilton miss, and it's lights out there as it's a track meet. And Boyd Uten is not going to get caught by any of those Villanova defenders. He takes it into the end zone, and there he is. He's still breathing hard after that run.
He had 2 touchdown receptions as a freshman last year. That not only is his first career touchdown run, but the first time he ran the ball ever. He went 74 yards. He'd be still going if there were some more white lines down there in the field to cross. The kickoff is short. Keating, the linebacker's got it. A heck of a return, and he just runs over the place kicker Kirchner, who stuck his nose in there like a good kicker, but not before Keating brings it to the Villanova 47-yard line.
What's it? I'll tell you. Here. Oh, here's Keating, and he's a linebacker.
What's the kicker here?
I talk about Westbrook. He makes people miss. Keating doesn't miss anybody on that one. He just sees the kicker and takes him out.
So Gordon on 1st and 10 for Villanova at the 47-yard line. And off Westbrook. Nothing much happening there, as Richmond has done as good a job as anyone possibly can at defending Brian Westbrook on the ground.
I'll tell you, strange as this may seem, that quick score by Richmond may have worked in the Villanova's offense's favor a little bit. Now, they've been on the field and they sit for a long period of time, and then they're on the field and sit for a long period of time. This is the first chance where they really got to get back onto the field quickly and try to get some rhythm going, and it's going to be imperative for Brett Gordon here to make a couple of completions and get a little offensive rhythm.
Gordon to throw, fires, has his man Brown across the middle for a first down at the Richmond 39-yard line. So Richmond has had touchdown drives of 7 minutes and 48 seconds, 7 minutes and 53 seconds, and then they just sort of mix things up by throwing in a 53-second, 80-yard, 2-play touchdown drive. But it's been all Spiders in their home opener. They lead it 23-7. Villanova has won the last 3 times it has played here at Richmond. Gordon out of the shotgun, empty backfield. On the screen, it's Westbrook, cuts inside, and look at him run over all those blue jerseys all the way to the 25-yard line. A pickup of 15 play. The road team, Scott, has won the last 5 games in this series.
And you just saw an exhibition of Westbrook's strength there as he takes that play, and if you'll watch, the guy who hits him is just he's not an ordinary guy. It's Josh Spraker, 84 right there. He's an All-American from Richmond. Westbrook just runs right through the All-American's arm, and he picks up another first down.
Westbrook comes to the sideline to catch a breather. Bryan is 5'9", but a solid 205. Quick toss right side, Henry Ridley with his first action of the afternoon. 5'10", 190-pound sophomore from the New Jersey shore town of Toms River. That was his second reception of the season. He's in there replacing Westbrook, who is sort of flexing that left knee.
Second down, 4, ball on the 19.
Banged up just a little bit 2 plays ago. You touch the ball as often as Bryan does, it's going to happen.
Well, you attract some attention, and Westbrook touches the ball more than anybody else in the A-10 up there.
Offset eye, Gordon quick toss left side, White with a tough catch. Richardson will run him down. Out of bounds at about the 14-yard line. Penalty marker in the Villanova backfield, and this one will be on the Wildcats.
Yeah, just an illegal shift, looks like, on Villanova. And once again, Villanova, when they get some momentum going, get a little rhythm going, they seem to shoot themselves in the foot with a silly penalty. Now they're going to march it back off here, and with Westbrook on the sideline, a little bit gimpy, this Villanova offense can't afford to make mental mistakes. You're going to see right there, number 41 makes that little shift over there for Villanova, and that's what they're going to get called on. He just didn't get set for 1 complete second.
Westbrook, as a sophomore, became the first player in college football history with 1,000 yards rushing and receiving in the same year. And last year as a junior, he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 return yards. No setbacks behind Gordon. Richmond comes with the blitz across the middle, the perfect counter for the blitz, and it's a touchdown pass to Shaz Brown, his first of the season. Gordon had the right play for that defense.
And just a beautiful move there. Richmond matched up man-to-man, and all you got to do is slip one defender when you're running man-to-man, make the grab, and that's what Brown does, takes it in the end zone. You see Brown come from the right side of your screen. The blitz is on. He gets free from his defender, and there's nobody left because everybody's turning and covering people man-to-man, and he just waltzes into the end zone untouched.
Villanova looks like they'll go for two. Remember, Richmond lost a point by missing that extra point. So a two-point conversion here would mean Villanova could tie the game with a touchdown and another two-point conversion. In motion to the right side is Anthony Wright. Also in motion, Ridley to the right. Gordon throws all the way to the left, so they motion everybody to the right, and all alone to the left is the other tight end, Matt Chilla, with a two-point conversion. So Villanova gets within one score, taking advantage of that missed extra point by Richmond to crawl within 8.
Here's a two-point conversion. You'll see Gordon just rolling to the right, goes back to Chilla, who's wide open in the corner of the end zone for that two-point conversion. You see Brown there at the top of the screen. He just cuts underneath the Henry Ridley, the outside receiver, creating a little pick against number 2, trying to cover him. That's Rashad Smith, and Brown just outsprints Smith to the end zone.
Second touchdown pass of the day and 5th of the season for Brett Gordon. And for Shaz Brown, that was his first touchdown reception of the year. Brown, a 5'11", 180-pound senior from Baltimore, Maryland. So that has to make Andy Talley feel a little bit better. Andy told me this week, we need to get Brian Westbrook a certain number of touches in our passing game. He has to make the crucial plays on third down. For us to win, he has to be the difference in the game. And that's a lot of pressure to put on a young man, and Westbrook has certainly responded to that pressure throughout his college career.
He sure has, but you see he's right there. But Westbrook testing that left knee again. He got him in the position to make that score, but he wasn't on the field on the last couple of plays. And even though Westbrook is the star that he is, there's some very talented offensive performers on the field along with him.
Roan returning the kickoff. Tries the left side, gets it out across the 30. Now reverses his field, cuts it back, and is brought down at the 33-yard line by Gary Johnson, and a penalty marker thrown on the play. Ordinarily, on kickoff and punt returns, when you see a flag thrown like that, it's some sort of illegal block. And let's see what referee Jack Winter will come up with.
Yeah, it looks like an illegal push in the back there against Richmond, so they're going to get marched back. And now the mistakes that Villanova was making earlier in the game are starting to show up on the Richmond side. You're going to see on the cutback right here, you got Archie there, number 7, blocking. He just pushes number 4 right there in the back, and then you got another hit coming in here as Roan. Once you start making those cutbacks, you really set up your team for some plays where they might get caught for clipping or pushing in the back on the kickoff.
So Richmond hurts itself with a penalty. Villanova has been penalized 9 times for 75 yards. So Richmond, that 16-point lead cut in half, takes over 1st and 10. Augustus on the option, rolls right, fakes the pitch, and is stood up by Joe Keating. Also, Balin Fox was there, and Jameel Butler was back in the action for Villanova. He left early in the game, you'll recall, with an injury. Let's take a listen to the contact. That's sticking your pads in there.
There's some contact going on down there on the field, and that was about as well as you could play the option. You want to really stretch that option to the sideline. Can't gain yards running east and west. You got to run north and south, and running the option, you just got to fill those seams and not let the quarterback turn up.
Augustus Augustus looks to throw. Fires left. Has his man Uden. Avoids the tackle attempt by Johnson and picks up the first down. Run down by Darnell Green at about the 44-yard line.
They've been running that quick out all day, and what really scares cornerbacks when you're playing against an option is the post. They don't want to give up the post. So you see here Johnson protecting the inside of the field, not going to give up anything to the middle of the field, and Uden just makes a simple out cut. He's wide open by 5 yards and gets a first down for Richmond.
2:15 remaining, third quarter. Richmond 23, Villanova 15. In motion, Edwards. The keeper, Augustus. And he's tripped up by Green after a pickup of about 4 to the 47-yard line, leaving a 2nd and 6. Darnell Green, 5'10", 185-pound junior out of Media, Pennsylvania. Villanova's leading tackler in its first 2 games this season. The Wildcats have been outstanding defensively in those first 2 games, leading the Atlantic 10 in scoring defense, total defense, and rushing defense. One wide receiver to the left. Augustus appears to be changing plays at the line of scrimmage. Fakes the handoff to the fullback, keeps it himself, ducks one tackler, and manages to pick up a half yard before he's brought down by Green again. So it will be 3rd down and about 5 for the Wildcats.
Now, this is a big series for the Villanova defense. They just haven't been able to find the answer for this option attack from Richmond, and they've got to shut them down here. The offense seems to have found their rhythm on that last drive, and they've got to get them back on the field as soon as they can to try to maintain that rhythm and possibly tie this game up.
Andy Talley says the guy who makes them go is Augustus. He forces you to play the whole field. Let's see how Villanova plays the field on this big 3rd and 5. On the quarterback draw, it's Augustus. Breaks a couple of tackles, and his second effort gives him the first down at the Villanova 45-yard line.
Well, there's a lot of heart in that run right there. It's Augustus. It's a straightforward quarterback draw. You know, they're trying to just pick up part of it so they can go for it on 4th down. You're going to see Augustus tuck it away here, come down the field, get a block from his fullback, but he gets hit right there. Gets hit twice before he picks up the first down, just fights forward, spins off the tackles, and falls forward to the 45-yard line and gets a Richmond first down.
McNair wide left, Uden wide right on this 1st and 10 with time running out the 3rd. Handoff Diggs, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. Pickup of about 3. So after losing heartbreakers on the road to Division 1A opponents, Virginia and Vanderbilt, Richmond has come home to open up its conference season. And can they hang on to that 8-point lead in the final 15 minutes? They did lead it by 16, but the lead has been cut in half, and the players on both sides holding up 4 fingers to indicate the 4th quarter belongs to us. Well, it can only belong to one of them. Will it be Jim Reed's Spiders or Andy Talley's Wildcats? Brett Gordon's 2nd touchdown pass of the afternoon. This one to Shaz Brown has cut the Richmond lead to 8 at the end of 3. Scott Bruner back in Richmond, Virginia, all set to begin the 4th quarter, where Richmond leads Villanova 23-15. A look at the statistics through 3 quarters, and Richmond with a considerable advantage in total yards.
Total yards and first downs. It just shows you that they're eating up the clock. They're putting together long, time-consuming drives, and that's what they need to do to keep that Villanova offense off the field.
Augustus hands off to Edwards, who has scored 2 touchdowns. And a great play on the right side, the left side of that Villanova defensive line by Jameel Butler. Redshirt freshman from Norristown, Pennsylvania. Tom Lasorda's hometown. Lasorda can't be real happy about the situation his beloved Dodgers are in. Following the loss last night, the Dodgers are all but eliminated, both in the National League West and wild card race. In case you did not hear, late last night, Barry Bonds hit home run number 68. The Giants win over San Diego. Back to throw Augustus, looks left, fires, and it's caught by Roan for the first down at the Villanova 39-yard line.
Boy, just making plays when plays need to be made. These two young men, Gustus and Roan here, as Gustus comes back, a quick slant, and Roan knows he's going to get hit coming across the middle. Johnson's right there, and so is Young, and they make the hit on Roan, but he holds on to it for the first down.
Of course, the game plan for Richmond is very, very simple and easy to figure out. Richmond wants to keep the ball, run the ball, and shorten this fourth quarter. And nobody in the league is more capable of doing that than Richmond. Now, having said that, Gustus with the pump fake then throws deep, look for McNair, way over his head and out of bounds. Trying to catch the Wildcats napping.
Well, I think they're trying to go for the jugular here a couple of times, as they know Villanova's going to start creeping up to the line of scrimmage, trying to create turnovers. You can see the Villanova sideline. They're almost being put to sleep by this Richmond offense. The Villanova offense just cannot seem to find a rhythm. They can't get on the field, and they're just standing around all day, and it makes it hard to play when you're on the sideline.
A year ago, Richmond won a school record 10 games. Spiders returning 9 starters on offense from that team, which shared the Atlantic 10 title with Delaware last year. On the pitch, right side Roan. He has Diggs in front of him, and Diggs throws a terrific block, springing Roan for the first down. Diggs just put the free safety Darnell Green on the field, down on the field.
This is a great block. You'll see number 6 coming out of here from his fullback position, and you're seeing him right there. There's Roan, number 9, number 6, right in front of him, Diggs. You'll see Green goes right to the ground, lets Roan get to the corner, and then Johnson makes a nice play to run Roan out of bounds.
Well, that's not fair. Not only you get knocked down, but then a little stiff arm from Roan to make sure he stayed down.
They're trying to shove it right down Villanova's throat here today, and they're doing a good job of it.
First and 10 with 13:39 to go. Gustus hands off straight up the middle. J.R. Purnell, who has not seen too much action today.
Well, that's an amazing stat right there. 32 minutes for Richmond to 13-16 for Villanova. That just shows how little your offense is on the field. Only 13 minutes for the whole game.
That's the way Richmond beats you. Jim Reed told me we must control the ball not only to put points on the board, but to keep that offense off the field. And they've done both today. The lead is only 8, but Richmond knocking on the door. Diggs straight up the middle. Very close to a first down inside the 10. Let's see where the ball is spotted. It may require a measurement. Now, Villanova is indicating they want a timeout. First timeout of the second half for the Wildcats.
They got to come up with some answers here. Andy Talley just can't seem to find any answers for that defense today.
Andy Talley grew up right in the shadows of the Villanova campus. Born in Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania. Played his college football at Southern Connecticut State University. Was not only the Atlantic 10, but also the NCAA 1AA Coach of the Year in 1997, when his Wildcats were #1 in the country the last 6 weeks of the regular season, and lost in the quarterfinals of the playoffs.
Well, they've had some great offensive performers in Villanova history.
And there's one of them, Mike Ciani, giving us a wave. Former Villanova great, went on to play for the Raiders and the Colts. Mike Ciani once had 288 receiving yards in a single game against Xavier. Not only that, Scott, but 5 of the 6 greatest single game receiving performances in terms of yards were recorded by that man, and you go way back with him to your dad's coaching days.
I sure do. He was one of the first guys I ever threw to as a youngster, and it was quite a thrill throwing to one of the great receivers in the country. He was one of the tops in the country, and I believe his senior year he caught passes for over 1,300 yards, which is probably second in Villanova history behind Brian Finneran.
Finneran, of course, went on to play for the Atlanta Falcons in the NFL. He was on that 97 Villanova team. Handoff straight up the middle for Richmond. And it was Fulton on the carry. Ciani played to Villanova in 1969, 70, and 71 before embarking on an outstanding career in the NFL. So now they're going to measure to see if that was enough to get the first down. The Spiders have converted a perfect 6 for 6 on 4th down today.
They won't need that. They won't need 4th down today on this one.
Of course, with this Villanova high-powered offense, even if Richmond takes it in here to go up 2 scores, there's still plenty of time left with all those weapons Villanova has. But we'll have to keep our eyes on number 20. Remember, Brian Westbrook left the game, kept flexing his knee on the near sideline. So when Villanova gets the ball back, we'll see if Westbrook is back. Westbrook is right now standing at about midfield with his helmet off. Never a good sign. Hand off to Purnell. Not much happening there. There's a look at Westbrook. Helmet in the right hand instead of on the head.
Well, you can just see by the body language of Westbrook as well as his other Villanova teammates. They're really frustrated. They're kind of in shock out there as they feel helpless standing there on the sideline with nothing to do.
2nd down, 11:50 clock running. 11:50 remaining in the ball game. Justice on the option, rolls right. He keeps it, turns, and gets into the end zone for his 3rd touchdown of the season. And Richmond once again goes up by 2 scores. Justice that time executing the option to perfection.
This is a great option here. He uses great speed, gets to the outside. You see the middle linebacker, Jamison there, or McMillian, trying to keep up with him, but he gets taken down, and that was the last block that Custis needed to get into the end zone.
Now Richmond lining up all the way to the left half mark and now switching back toward the middle of the field on this extra point attempt by Kirchner. Remember, he missed the last one. This one just tucks it inside that left upright. Timeout, 11 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. It's Richmond 30, Villanova 15. Sean Gustis with his 3rd touchdown of the year. Last 3, won or shared 2 of the last 3 Atlantic 10 titles. They've been operating on all cylinders today. There's David Edwards from 2 yards out. Edwards from 4 yards out early in the 3rd quarter. Then on the reverse, Boyd Uden with his first career rushing attempt and getting a great block downfield.
Yeah, super block. You saw the move there, and it's just all speed. And that's how Richmond just lulls you to sleep and then breaks the big one.
And then the quarterback, Gustis, on the option on the keeper, ducking into the end zone, concluding a 76-yard, 15-play drive. It took 6 minutes and 26 seconds. And Richmond leads it 30-15 with 11:39 remaining.
Jim Reed has to be real pleased with what's going on. He came into this game, he was banged up, had some key players missing, but the ones that are left have really responded well, and Richmond with a commanding lead here, 30-15.
And Brian Westbrook is on the field. That kickoff will go into the end zone. Boy, that one's into the wind, too. So a great sign for Villanova to see that Westbrook is out there. Tough enough to come back 15 points on Richmond, but to do it without Westbrook would be that much more difficult. Look at Westbrook as he comes back into the huddle. Westbrook has done it all for Andy Talley. Villanova's leading career rusher, 5th in career receptions, 6th in career total offense, which is very difficult for anyone other than a quarterback to do, 7th in career receiving yards. Westbrook on the handoff will go nowhere, and he is Villanova's all-time leader in all-purpose yards, in touchdowns, and in scoring. He has already been selected to play in the Kula Bowl next January.
You know what the ultimate irony of this whole thing is? Villanova decided to kick off with the wind to start the second half, and it looks like the wind is actually, so they would have the wind at their back in the 4th quarter. It looks like the wind is kind of switching around, and they're almost going into the wind again.
Now that's a home field advantage. Gordon to throw, Has his man Brown on the slant for a first down. So Villanova needs 2 scores. And they have plenty of time in which to do it.
Well, what they need right now is they need 1 score by the offense, and then they need a play on special teams or defense to give that offense an opportunity to really tie this up and kind of make up the difference between that 2-score differential right now.
Wildcats averaging 34.5 per game. Low snap. Gordon catches it, throws across the middle to Westbrook. Gets a block from Cross, goes up the sideline and picks up the first down. So the Wildcats moving the ball very effectively by throwing it across the middle of the field, and Westbrook's getting up just a little gingerly.
Yeah, look at Hill hits him on the knee again. You see right here, Westbrook cutting right across the middle. Nobody picks him up. He gets a nice block there, and you'll see number 10 come in there, hit him right on that left knee, and Westbrook doesn't feel too good after that one.
Jason Hill making the stop. Preseason second-team All-Atlantic 10 selection from Voorhees, New Jersey. 1st and 10, Villanova. Handoff Cross on the draw. So Villanova with 3 consecutive first downs, and they have it all the way to the Richmond 35-yard line, and the Wildcats have done it using virtually no time at all.
You never feel comfortable when you're facing a Villanova offense, no matter how much of a lead you have. They have the ability to just go down the field quickly, score quickly. We saw their first touchdown was in a matter of seconds, literally a 31-second drive. So they have that ability to put the points on the board and put them on fast.
4 wide receivers. Cross the lone setback. Gordon out of the shotgun. Cross goes out for a pass. So does Brown, who catches the slant across the middle for a pickup of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Of course, Villanova trying to get on the board quickly, and then the ultimate challenge, stopping Richmond, which is something the Wildcats have not been very successful at doing all day.
There's one thing for sure in football. You can't come from behind with offense. You have to come from behind with defense, because you've got to make a stop somewhere along the line. And the offense can score, but if the other team keeps moving the ball and scoring, you'll never make up that difference.
Gordon pass incomplete. Kind of reminds me of your 1981 Giants when you got to the divisional playoff game with the 49ers. That was the first of 5 Super Bowl titles for the 49ers. You guys did a great job. Just couldn't stop the 49ers from scoring that day. Every time you scored to pull within 1 score, they would come back and score.
Yeah, we had a great defense too, but they had some great Hall of Fame players like Montana and Dwight Clark on that team. Freddie Solomons and
Ronnie Lott.
Ronnie Lott was on defense. There were some great players on that Niner team, and they were just getting started.
3rd down and about 2. Gordon out of the shotgun. Throws left, and the ball is batted down to the line of scrimmage by Boyer. It's the 2nd time today that Steve Boyer has done that. A junior from Douglas Freeman High School right here in Richmond. He's listed at 6'3". He looks bigger.
Well, he's done a good job at that, and that was one of their strategies coming into this game, with Brett Gordon only standing about 5'10", and that's probably stretching it. They wanted to get the defensive linemen to get their hands up in the air. If they couldn't get to the quarterback, just get your hands up in the air and try to get a piece of the ball, and Boyer does at that time and creates a 4th down, and it's a big 4th down situation here for the Wildcats.
So much so that they will use a timeout to make sure they select the right play. So there's a timeout with 9:24 remaining. It's Richmond 30 and Villanova 15. 4th down for the Wildcats and about 2, maybe 2.5, and the ball at the Richmond 28-yard line. This is really the first full day of league competition in the Atlantic 10, and Northeastern hanging in there, trailing Delaware by a point in the 3rd quarter up in Boston. William & Mary leads New Hampshire by 3 at the half. Both teams 1-0 in Atlantic 10 play. In non-league play, Rhode Island has opened up a 21-10 lead at the half over Brown. The Rams are 3-0. All 3 wins in the league. Tonight, Massachusetts will play at Hofstra. UMass off to an 0-3 start, 0-1 in the league. Hofstra 2-1 in its first season in the Atlantic 10. And James Madison will play tonight at Maine. Maine, you see that shootout that Maine lost last week at Hofstra? 51-44.
I think that was top 10 total points in the A-10.
for both teams, and what a wild one, and it wasn't even overtime.
Right. So here we go, 4th down and 2 for Villanova. 2 wide receivers to each side. Cross the setback. In that backfield, Gordon out of the shotgun. Looks to throw, fires, has his man Sango, 1st down. Knocked out of bounds at the 20. And with that catch, Merle Sango has moved into 2nd place on Villanova's all-time career reception list. That was his 5th catch of the day. So congratulations to him. Second only to Brian Finner. First down for the Wildcats. Gordon hands off to Westbrook out of the shotgun. Westbrook, nothing happening there. Tripped up in the backfield by Mark Thompson. He's a preseason 2nd team All-Atlantic 10 selection. 6'2", 220-pound junior out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Jim Reed considers Thompson his best linebacker when it comes to rushing the passer, and also the best one defending the run. He's a good one. 8:40 remaining in the ball game. Empty backfield behind Gordon. Short drop, throws across the middle, and it's caught in traffic down around the 7-yard line by Shaz Brown. So Gordon somehow managed to thread the needle and get it in there.
Well, when you're behind, you've got to take some chances as a quarterback, even if it's a tight spot. And Gordon takes a chance, probably not a ball he would normally throw, but he sticks it in there. Brown makes the grab in traffic. And you see Gordon with a short drop right there. You see Richmond trying to get their arms up, but on the 2nd pump, he lets it go, and the arms were down, and Brown made the grab.
Now Westbrook comes out of the game on 1st and goal to go at the 7. Gordon pump fakes, throws, incomplete, intended for Sango, defended by Jason Hill. Looks like Westbrook will come right back in, or will he?
He's coming back off.
He wanted to go back in, but he's told to stay put. Gordon looking to the sideline for the signal with the play call on 2nd and goal from the 8 with 8:06 remaining. There's a look at Westbrook, the heralded senior, right next to his head coach. Gordon rolls right, looks, fires, incomplete. Diving attempt in the corner of the end zone by Brian White. Ramon Richardson with the coverage.
Looks like White's a little shaken up there, and he's trying to get off the field. And Westbrook on the sideline, and I would think I would want my star player on the field in a situation like this. And there he goes. He's out there.
So it's 3rd down and goal from the 8. Down by 15, Villanova, and only 8 minutes left. Villanova, one would presume, is in what would be called 4-down territory. Westbrook, the lone setback, cross, the fullback lines up slot left. Gordon to throw, fires, and Brown with the catch for his 2nd touchdown reception of the afternoon. The 3rd touchdown pass for junior Brett Gordon from Ambler, Pennsylvania.
It's a beautiful play there. Brown fakes the slant, gets Hill, number 10, the cornerback, to bite on it, and then goes to the back of the end zone for Gordon to hit him. You'll see Gordon waits it out there, and you'll see Hill coming to the middle. He was just completely faked out and left Brown open behind him.
So rather than go for 2 here and pull within 7, Villanova will kick to try to pull within 8. And the kick by Hannon's no good. A very costly miss for the senior transfer from Penn State. So now, just like that, Villanova remains down 2 scores as Casey Hannon misses an extra point attempt for the first time this year. Timeout, 7:56 remaining. Shaz Brown with his 2nd touchdown reception of the day, but Villanova still trails by 9.
And if if you feel it.
The missed extra point, Andy Talley's Villanova Wildcats still trail by 9 as we look at Brett Gordon's 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon.
And you see right there, Brown makes the inside move. Hill jumps on it, and he uses his strength to kind of give Hill a little bit of a push off and gets behind him for that little reception from Gordon. You can see a little frustration there on Andy Talley's face there. Kind of changed the whole strategy of the game by missing that extra point. It looks like they're lining up here for a potential onside kick.
Certainly are. Kick must go 10 yards, and a good job of covering the ball there for Richmond, who takes over at the 49-yard line. Looks like it was Kyle Kupchak who covered the ball.
Well, you see the onside kick. It's got to go 10 yards. You want to create a little collision, a little problem, and you want that ball to jump up in the air, but Kupchak gets it before he can make that second hit where it would jump up in the air and give the Villanova cover team an opportunity to make the reception.
Kupchak, a sophomore from El Segundo, California. So Richmond has it 1st and 10 at the Villanova 44. Augustus on the option. They'll keep it. Gets by Jamison Young's tackle attempt. Finally run down by Jason McMillian from behind, but not before he looks like he picked up enough for a 1st down, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, you see the maturity here and the experience of Augustus. Takes that ball around the corner on the option. He's not going to put the ball at risk. He's not going to make the pitch if it doesn't need to be made. He keeps it, and watch this. He gets to the sideline. Instead of just falling out of bounds, jumps back in. That keeps the clock running, and that's Villanova's adversary here. You know, Richmond wants to run that clock down as far as they can.
7:23 remaining. Richmond up by 9. Augustus on the option this time to the left side. And he is brought down by Young and Darnell Green. And again, Augustus with a smart play. Of course, the safest thing to do on the option is to not pitch it. Isn't necessarily the most productive thing to do. But when you're up by 9, sometimes you have to think safety over production.
Oh, certainly. That's what he's trying to do. The only thing that can hurt him right here is a turnover. And you see Richmond wanted to have 35 minutes or more of time of possession. They're already at that point right now, and they're going to add to that with this last couple of drives.
In motion, Edwards. He has 2 touchdowns, and the handoff goes to the fullback, Diggs. Straight up the middle, and he picked up about 6 on the play before he was brought down by Steve Neugebauer. 5'11", 205-pound junior from Stratford, Connecticut. Neugebauer had been a linebacker and was converted to the strong safety position. Andy Talley considers Neugebauer his best player in the secondary when it comes to stopping the run. 3rd down and a long 3 with 6 minutes remaining. Augustus on the option. Turns it upfield. But he'll be stopped short of the 1st down. He'll be about 1.5 yards short.
And you know what that means?
That means that Richmond will have a chance to make it 7 for 7 on 4th downs.
They love that 4th down. They know if they're going for it on 4th down, they're putting drives together, and that's what Richmond wants to do. They want to put long drives together. They don't care if they get 1st downs on 3rd down or 2nd down or 4th down. They just want to keep getting 1st downs, and they've been very proficient at that today.
They're going to need about 1.5 yards. Purnell in motion. The handoff goes to the fullback, Fulton. I don't think he got it. Not only did he not got it, he fumbled the ball. And Kwesi Solomon recovered it for the Wildcats. So that's the 3rd turnover of the ball game for the Spiders. They fumbled it twice. And they also were intercepted, you may recall, on the final play of the half. So, of course, the fact that he fumbled there really is almost insignificant because he was stopped short of the first down, and it would have been Villanova's ball at the same spot on the field anyway.
Well, you see right there, you get good penetration. That's the first time that the Villanova defensive front really got penetration into the backfield, making the hit before the ball got to the line of scrimmage.
Gordon gets away from Spraker, who's going to try to get him again. Spraker tries to run him down. Instead, he chases Gordon out of bounds after a pickup of a couple of yards.
Gordon forced out of bounds by number 84, Josh Spraker.
Well, yeah.
It appeared, Scott, that Gordon wanted his favorite target, Westbrook, on the play.
Well, he's scrambling around there, and there's Westbrook. You see 7 Archie right there on him. He's not going to let Westbrook go. If you're assigned to cover Westbrook, it doesn't matter who else has the ball. Stay with Westbrook.
Westbrook lines up in the slot on 2nd and 5 with 5:02 remaining. Gordon throws incomplete, intended for Westbrook out of the backfield. That missed extra point has completely changed the complexion of this ball game.
Yeah, well, it sure did. Forced Villanova to go for the onside kick. It made this a long field for them. We're seeing Westbrook there. Number 7, he's going to be the designated Westbrook man the rest of this game. He's going to be in Brian's face the rest of this game. He's going to be hitting him, trying to throw him off balance, and trying to keep the ball out of his hands.
What a huge difference with 4:57 remaining, needing 1 score or 2 scores. And they need 2 because of the missed conversion. Gordon throws, has Cross across the middle for a first down. And Cameron Cross is finally brought down by Ramon Richardson inside the Richmond 40-yard line. Cameron Cross, 6'1", 225-pound junior from Oceanside, California, one of 13 players on this Villanova team from California.
Well, the other thing that's going to haunt Villanova is they've already burned 2 of their timeouts here in the second half, so they have no other way to stop the clock outside of their 1 timeout.
Gordon throws, it's juggled and dropped by Luke Stopper across the middle. Villanova has 32 players on the squad from the state of Pennsylvania, 14 from New Jersey, and then 13 from a state that's 3,000 miles away. Andy Talley has always had a great deal of success recruiting California. That's where his terrific all-conference quarterback Chris Bowden came from, San Clemente, California. In fact, the center, Robert Richardson, was Bowden's high school teammate at San Clemente High School. Tossed across the middle to Ridley, is quickly brought down by Adrian Archie. Pickup of about 4. It's 3rd and 6.
Well, Archie's doing a great job in there. Westbrook on the sideline, Ridley in that position that Westbrook would normally play, and Archie's not going to get that inside slot halfback receiver any room to breathe.
Gordon to throw, fires, Cross, difficult catch, first down. And he ropes the sideline, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. It looked like Cross was going to go out of bounds. Instead, it results in Brett Gordon's 4th touchdown pass of the afternoon.
They've given so much attention to the halfback inside slot position, they've forgotten about the fullback inside slot position. And right there you see the great grab, takes it down the sideline, and Richmond just makes a mistake as Cross goes right down the sideline. Richmond makes a mistake, doesn't make the tackle, and Villanova, 4 minutes left in this game, is going to draw within 2 points.
This time Hannon's conversion is good. He is 12 of 13 this year, but the one missed was a crucial one. Had he not missed it, they could have tied the game with a 2-point conversion there. Instead, they trail by 2 with 4:06 left. Back in Richmond, Virginia. Villanova has just scored to pull within 2. It's Richmond 30, Villanova 28, 4:06 to go. Cameron Cross, number 41 in your picture, with his first touchdown reception of the season, the 3rd of his career.
And you see him coming right at you there, makes that grabs, going up the sideline, and looks like there's going to be room. But you see number 2 there, Merrill Sango, makes a good enough screen, keeps the Richmond secondary off of Cross, and he takes it in the end zone to bring the Wildcats within 2.
75-yard drive in 6 plays, took 1:04, so who would have thunk it? 4 touchdown passes for Gordon, none of them to Brian Westbrook. The kickoff goes right through the end zone, so at least at this moment, the wind is blowing very strongly from left to right, which it has been for most of the afternoon. So now it's up to the Villanova defense. Can they stop this Richmond attack, particularly the ground attack? As Richmond would like to just chew up the last 4 minutes and 2 seconds on the ground and not give Villanova the ball back. Villanova team that entering today's action had been #1 in the conference in scoring defense, total defense, and rushing defense, following wins over Colgate and Northeastern. Pitch out, Roan, right side, and Roan's got the first down all the way out to the 49-yard line. A pickup of 29 yards on the play. Not what Villanova had in mind.
No, we saw Richmond. They got a little conservative even for them in the drive before, where they were just handing it off, not really taking chances. This time, they run the full option. They get the pitch out to Roan, who gets to the corner, and you just see him use his speed and explode down the sideline, get the ball out to the 41-yard line.
So they say he went out of bounds at the 41, so call it a 21-yard gain, not 29. 3:53 remaining. Justice on the option. Left side. Pitches to Purnell. Cuts inside. So he does not go out of bounds, and the clock continues to run. Jamison Young, Darnell Green with the stop. Villanova with only 1 timeout left. Pickup of only 1 on the play.
That's really the key here. Richmond really wants to keep the clock running. They don't want to do anything to put the ball out of bounds, and they're certainly not going to throw a pass, which might risk an incompletion and stop the clock.
Near side hash mark. Roan in motion on 2nd and 9. Gustis, keeper, left side. Again, he cuts upfield instead of going toward the sideline to keep the clock going. Now keep in mind, Villanova again has that strong wind at its back. Should they stop Richmond and get the ball back, they could win the game with a field goal. Casey Hannon this year has attempted 2 field goals, and he's 2 for 2, but both of them have been from inside the 30. He's attempted 2 field goals beyond the 40-yard mark, and he's missed them both. His longest of the year is 24 yards.
There's a big one here. Richmond, of course, wants to get down there close enough to get maybe a 4th down shot if they don't pick up the first down.
Justice pitch to Roan, right side. And Gary Johnson with a terrific stop for about a 4-yard loss. And Villanova does stop Richmond and uses its last timeout right here. So Richmond, not even Richmond, Scott, will go for on 4th and 10 at its own 41-yard line. And Villanova will get the ball back.
Well, this is a great play by Johnson. You see him coming up here. Roan gets to the outside. Johnson fights off 1 block, goes low and takes Roan's knees out from under him, takes him down for the loss, and sets up an opportunity for the Villanova special teams to get back on the field, the Villanova offense to win this game.
Something also to point out here. Since 1999, Villanova special teams have blocked 11 kicks. And the Villanova coaching staff thought it saw something on film this week that led it to believe that Richmond might be vulnerable to a blocked kick. So let's see if they go after the punter right here.
That wouldn't be surprising. Gary Johnson's the guy who made the tackle there, is the guy who is prolific at blocking kicks. He had 1 block earlier this year, and let's keep our eye on Johnson in this punt formation. He might be the guy coming up the middle for the block.
Vinnie Murray is the punter. 6'1", 210-pound junior from Larchmont, New York. Back deep to return is Merle Sango. He's standing at his own 20-yard line. Gets the kickoff safely. Sango calls for the fair catch and makes it, and a penalty flag is thrown because Sango was not given enough room to catch the football, so that one's going to hurt. So Villanova.
That's not a big one. That's only a 5-yard penalty for interfering with the halo that goes around the punter. There'll be a 5-yard penalty on that, and but more importantly, Villanova's offense has the football. You see right here, Sango makes the fair catch there. Number 2 from Richmond, Rashad Smith, just couldn't contain himself. He avoided the contact, but he was within the area that you have to stay outside of, and that's a 2-yard area, a 6-foot circle around that receiving man. Otherwise, you get flagged for the interference to catch the punt.
So here we go with 2:09 remaining. Villanova needing a field goal to win. Completes the pass across the middle to Shaz Brown. Gets it out to the 46-yard line for a first down.
And it's obviously not as critical in college football to not have your timeouts. The clock stops to reset the chains. So, you know, Villanova's running up to the ball and the clock is stopped. So 2 minutes at midfield is like an eternity.
Interestingly enough, we don't see Casey Hannon loosening up with the net on the sideline. Gordon throws left, has his man. Brown makes the catch, goes out of bounds to stop the clock. A pickup of about 6.
And now you're seeing this Villanova offense kind of get their rhythm. They're in their tempo. They've been on the field. They've been up and down the field a couple of times here in the second half, and that's what an offensive team needs. They need touches. They need opportunities to establish rhythm, and Brett Gordon's got this offense running in high gear right now.
Minute 50 remaining. Gordon, low snap, fields it, rolls left, throws, incomplete. Intended for Westbrook. The ball was thrown low. Chad Blackstock, 6 foot, 205-pound senior from Ridgeway, Virginia, defending on the play. He was a 3rd-team All-Atlantic 10 selection last year and a preseason 2nd-team All-Conference selection this year.
Well, it's a big 3rd down here. You see the Richmond fans are up employing their defense to make a stop. But you know one thing for sure, we're going to see another 4th down opportunity if Villanova doesn't pick up this 1st down. So 2 big plays here for the Richmond defense.
Gordon, empty backfield. Here they come in a blitz. Throws down the middle. Incomplete, intended for White. Covered by Richardson. And this will bring up a 4th down. The line of scrimmage is the 48. So even with the wind at his back, certainly not going to see a 65-yard field goal attempt. Hannon, by the way, his longest career field goal, a 50-yarder. In 1999 against James Madison. Again, a very, very strong win at Villanova's back. So here's the ball game on the line for Villanova. 4th and 5 at the Richmond 48 with 1:40 to go. Gordon in the shotgun. 5-man rush. Throws right, cross, has the 1st down. And did he get out of bounds? Yes, he did.
The clock stops anyway for the 1st down, but they've really gone to Cameron Cross here. These last 2 drives, he's been the guy who's found the openings. Just a simple little flat route, nothing complicated. He just runs down about 5 yards, gets to the outside, and beats the linebacker on the play. You see Thompson coming in there from the corner. You're to see him right here. He runs right out, just turns to the outside, and Thompson can't get there fast enough. Number 16, he makes the grab, picks up the big 1st down on 4th and 5.
Now all of a sudden, a field goal attempt becomes much more of a possibility with the line of scrimmage to 33. Handoff cross up the middle. Now that's a clock eater. They don't have any timeouts left. Clock, plenty of time left though. Clock running, 1:23.
There's plenty of time. That's just to keep you honest play, and they've broken that play for some big yardage. So not a bad call in there on 1st down.
Gordon looking, throwing, incomplete. Penalty markers all over the play. 1, 2, 3 flags, and they're all going to be the same thing. Pass interference on Adrian Archie. Now in college football, when the infraction occurs less than 15 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, the ball is marked off to the point of the infraction, and it's an automatic 1st down. So that would be the 22-yard line, and it's 1st and 10.
Going to see Brown coming in here from the left side. Oh, this is the run before. The fullback cross takes it up the middle, and just sets up that next play where Brown came across the middle and was hammered before he got an opportunity to make the grab.
1:07 remaining. First and 10 Wildcats at the Richmond 22-yard line. High formation. Handoff up the middle to Cross. He's got it to the 16-yard line, and it almost looks as if, Scott, they might be playing for the field goal.
I don't think they're playing for the field goal. I think they're just trying to keep his Richmond defense honest. They have plenty of time. 50 seconds left is more than enough time for this offense to get the ball into the end zone.
2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Handoff Westbrook up the middle. Takes it to the 12-yard line with 36 seconds remaining. Again, Hannon this year 2 for 4 field goal attempts. He made them from the 24 and the 20. He missed them from the 43 and the 41. 3rd down and 1. 15 seconds remaining.
You might be right. They might be getting ready to stop the clock here so they can come out and try to kick the winning field goal.
And they do spike the ball. So the line of scrimmage is the 12. Mark off 7 yards for the ball to be spotted. 10 yards because the uprights are at the back of the end zone. This will be a 29-yard field goal attempt to win the ball game. And how ironic would it be? It was Hannon's missed extra point that prevented Villanova from having the chance to tie the game with a 2-point conversion on its last touchdown. Now he has a chance to win the ball game, and Richmond will try to help ice Hannon by calling a timeout. Hannon, 6 foot, 205-pound senior from Lebanon, New Jersey, transfer from Penn State, 2nd team All-Atlantic 10 selection in 1998 and 1999. He broke his ankle against Richmond a year ago. But Andy Talley this week told me he believes that Hannon has 50-yard range. It's just that he's missed his only 2 from beyond the 40 thus far this season.
How ironic would it be that Richmond, who lost to Virginia because of a missed extra point, they missed an extra point today as well.
Right.
They could be up 31-28 here, you know, and at least looking at overtime. But now they're staring down the jaws of possible defeat on the foot of Casey Hannon.
And there you see Andy Talley and his players holding hands on the sideline. The ball will be snapped by Jamison Young. The holder is the punter, Birch. Lined up at the near hash mark, so it will be a right-to-left angle. And for the moment, the wind does not appear to be blowing as much as it was before. The kick is up, and it is good! With 1 second remaining. So Casey Hannon more than makes up for the missed extra point. I've declined to use the word hero because I think events of the last couple of weeks makes us want to save that word for more important situations. Penalty markers on the play. This will be a unsportsmanlike conduct on Villanova for celebrating after the kick, but that probably won't matter. Richmond's only chance here is to run back the kickoff all the way.
Well, what a great win here for Villanova. You know, they've been fighting back all day. It looked like Richmond really had this game under control, and you know, the Villanova defense came up with 2 big stops here in the last couple of series, and the Villanova offense finally found their rhythm.
So now one more business matter, and that's to kick the ball off. We can presume that it will be some kind of a squib. The reaction of the Villanova sideline.
Oh, we don't have TV. Let's get
Casey Hannon's 3rd field goal of the season. Well, what a big one it was. We really don't want to beat up the young man for missing an extra point. It's the only one he's missed this year in 13 attempts. I don't think he's thinking about that missed extra point right now. 60-yard drive, 10 plays. It took 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Because of the penalty, the ball will be kicked off from the 20 instead of the 35. If there was more time left, that could be huge. But with only 1 second left, it really means that barring a penalty, Richmond is going to have to run back this kick all the way. Clock, of course, does not start until someone touches the ball. Cordell Roan and Boyd Uden are back deep at their own 20. And Hannon will be the guy to do the kicking. This crowd has been silenced by this dramatic Villanova comeback. Wildcats down by 15 points with 11 minutes left. Hannon with the line drive kick. The ball pitched back to Roan by McNair at the 40. Now he goes all the way across the field to Uden on the near side. Uden tries to keep it alive. Let's see if he pitches back to someone. He won't have a chance to, and the ball game will end. Penalty marker on the play. Remember, the game cannot end on a defensive penalty, but this one is going to be holding on Richmond, and that will end the ball game. Both teams being sent to their sidelines while the penalty is signaled for, but now Villanova realizes the game is over, and what a dramatic win for the Villanova Wildcats as they spoil the home opener and the conference opener here in Richmond with a 31-30 win on a 29-yard field goal by Casey Hannon. And look at that embrace between two old friends and longtime competitors, Andy Talley and Jim Reed. You know, they began the day with an embrace. The two teams in a wonderful display of unity, coming from their respective goal lines to meet at midfield before the game. Here's Hannon with the kick right down the middle. So a terrific win for the Villanova Wildcats. And they are now 3-0, 2-0 in the Atlantic 10. Richmond falls to 0-3 and 0-1 in the league. Sorry we couldn't have a more exciting game for you to kick off our Atlantic 10 game of the week. We'll be back to wrap it up after this.